Well, good afternoon and welcome to Darling Stadium in Hampton, Virginia for today's playoff football game featuring the Phoebus Phantoms and the Greyhounds from Norcom High School in Portsmouth. This is Frank Edgar coming to you from high atop the old ball field here at Darling Stadium with my partner Wube Gabray and our cameraman Steve Fryer with us today as we bring you the regional championship featuring the Phantoms and the Greyhounds. Wube, this should be a pretty evenly played game on a muddy field.
Yeah, you know, the concern is the field conditions, Frank, but, you know, they both have to play in the conditions, and it might favor Phoebus. We don't know, but, you know, according to a couple experts, you know, the field conditions favor Phoebus because of the way Norcom likes to play. Speaking of Norcom, Frank, coming off a huge playoff win against defending state champion Hopewell last week, 14-12. So, you know, Norcom's been rolling the last few weeks.
Well, you know, the Norcom Greyhounds won the title back in the 90s when in those series of playoffs they outscored their opponents 109-16. This year they have scored 28 and held their opponents to 12 points in wins over Booker T. Washington and Hopewell. They've won 8 of their last 9 games, so they've come in with an 8-4 record. Playing good football now after dropping their first 3. The Phantoms come in 11-1 under the guidance of head coach Jeremy Blunt. They're the number 37 team in Virginia, but the highest ranking team from the area and the last remaining Peninsula High School football team in the playoffs. 2 were defeated just last night. Lafayette High School from Williamsburg and Poquoson dropped their games in the other divisions. Larry Archie's Greyhounds have sent their captains out. They're going to feature a lot of Jacoby Smith. He's going to be helped by DeMonte Dunlap at running back. The other captain, number 2, Kashawn Davis, and Thomas White, number 5, and Taurus Jones, number 11. For the Phantoms, they sent out their captains. Barry Hargraves, of course, the Offensive Player of the Year. Number 4, Caleb Randolph, Joshua Austin, and Josiah Silver. Silver's going to have a full day today trying to cut down the corner on those Greyhound running backs in that spread offense, Wube.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Dunlap and, you know, Dixon on the outside. He's a two-way player. You know, Jacoby Smith, 3-year starter, Frank, at quarterback. You know, he came here his freshman year and played Phoebus in the playoffs. And, you know, Taurus Jones, Frank, he's a linebacker. He's a Eastern District Player of the Year. He has a lot of offers under his belt. So he's going to be a force on defense, number 11. So, you know, Phoebus has their hands full, but this is playoff football, and then the winner will be regional champions.
Well, this is what the Phoebus Phantoms play for, is football games in November, December. They got a tough one tonight. That DeMonte Dunlap, the running back, sophomore, 1,300 yards on the season, 11 touchdowns, but described by many as the fastest guy with the football. So a guy to keep your eye on is going to be DeMonte Dunlap, number 3 on the Greyhound roster. The Norcom Greyhounds in the all-whites today with the maroon numerals. Phoebus in their blue tops, black pants with the gold numerals, gold helmets. They'll be receiving the ball on the east end of the field, headed towards the only scoreboard that works, the one at the west end, Wube. With the Old Point National Bank sponsorship there. Thank you to them for helping get those scoreboards up, and hopefully the city can get that one in the east end up before a quarterback has to turn around and look like they did last week.
You know, Frank, you know, you could have 3 regional champions from the Eastern District. We have Maury that won the 5A title, Lake Taylor won the 4A, and Norcom here in the 3A.
Kickoff is going to be away from Randolph. He's going to pick it up about the 12. And he's got some running room. Randolph up over the 30 and a fine run back. Brings it up to about the 33-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Phantoms there.
So much for the conditions, Frank. Good cutback by Randolph.
Kind of like our friend with us today, Steve Latimer, the golfer, that would say a pretty good pitch shot right there as the ball hit the mud and stuck. We've had rain here for about 2 hours. We're in a lull of the rain. We hope it holds off for most of the game, but the field is very wet, and we'll see who that favors today. Chris Daniels, the starting quarterback for the Phantoms, brings his club out. Barry Hargraves go wide. We will see Kamani Robinson there behind Daniels, the fullback, number 40.
No featured back.
No Jalen White, no Turner yet.
A little bunch formation for Phoebus. Daniels under center goes to Kimani Robinson. They're going to start him off early, Frank.
Robinson up over the 35.
Interesting formation to start the game off.
Well, here comes Turner, number 7.
So Jalen White must be still banged up. We're going to have to check and see what his availability is for the game today.
White on the sideline, number 12, talking to one of the assistant coaches and the trainer, actually, he's talking to, trying to gauge whether he can get in and play.
Hasn't played in the last 2 weeks with an undisclosed injury.
Well, Anthony Turner, the sophomore, 6'1", 177, has played a very good tailback position, and they're going to count on him today. Daniels under center.
Daniels with like two fullbacks. They've been playing a lot of that this year. Turner, near side, cuts up the field, goes up the middle, and Turner's going to take it close to the end zone. A diving tackle.
Nice tackle out there by the Greyhounds, Antoine Powell-Ryland.
Yeah, that's a guy we featured early, Frank. He saved the touchdown.
He did indeed. So Turner showing you his speed. He simply outran everybody before Powell-Ryland could make a diving tackle. Powell-Ryland, 6'3", 225 defensive lineman, shows his speed.
Good looking size kid. Good speed there as well.
So the Phantoms down to the 20 of the Greyhounds. 1st and 10 from there. Marlon Jones, the center, brings them up. Josiah Silver at 1 tackle. Other tackle looks like Austin Gilliam on the far side. The guards are Hardy and Ibri Harrell.
And that's what Phoebus has to avoid, Frank. Those penalties, which been their doom the last few weeks.
Yeah, that was intentional movement of hands by the Norcom Greyhounds, it looked like to me, to try to draw them off, and it worked. Phoebus loses 5.
Another key loss, Frank, for Phoebus, we didn't mention earlier. Donovan Cooper, that senior leader on that line, he's going to be out for the rest of the season.
He just limped out of here on his crutches, and they do miss him. But yes, Gilliam back. Austin Gilliam been able to plug the hole last week.
So Daniels goes to Turner. Turner, the sophomore, gets smacked in the backfield. Good tackle. Looks like that's number 33. That's Tion Costin.
6'1", 265 defensive lineman.
Looking at their roster, Frank, they have a nice mix of seniors and sophomores and juniors on that roster. So looks like Norcom's going to be around for a few years.
Well, you were mentioning earlier, Wube, the dominance of the Eastern region so far. A lot of sophomores in there.
Absolutely.
Lake Taylor with a couple sophomores just
you're right. With
putting
Foster,
a beating on Lafayette last night.
And, of course, Maury with a shocker to everyone, beating Indian River, who's been beating up on a lot of teams in the over in the south side and the southeastern district.
Man-to-man coverage with the safety going over to help with Barry Hargraves on the right. Daniels under center.
Daniels goes back to Turner. Looks like almost the same play. Good cut by Turner, but that Norcom defense sniffed it out.
Well, the yards you got all come by benefit of Kamani Robinson, the fullback. Phoebus with its fullback-oriented offense.
You know, and Phoebus, they've been doing a lot of this year, Frank. Big play, and a penalty pushes them back. Now they're forced to a 3rd and long.
Their kicker's Anthony Wallace, first team All-Peninsula District. This is probably right at the edge of his range. It'll be interesting to see if they get stuck here around the 20, whether Jeremy Blunt will try the kick. The weather has, again, the rain has stopped for a few minutes. Robinson there in front of Turner in the backfield behind Chris Daniels.
Looks like some movement, no call. They're going to go back to Turner on a 3rd and long. They'll probably go for it here.
Yeah, Turner up over back down to the 17-yard line. I know they're going to mark him earlier. Mark him at the 19, according to this line judge.
So it's going to be a 4th and 9, Frank, from the 22. So they're going to go for a field goal. I thought they were going to go for it.
Wallace comes in, number 90. The holder is Latrell Smith.
Interesting move, Frank.
Well, he was hitting them in warm-ups from this range. Wallace trying to put the Phantoms on the board here.
It's going to be short, Frank.
Yep, got his foot too far under it. So the Phantom drive stalls there at the 19-yard line. And the ball's turned over to the Greyhounds. And give it to him on the 20.
So Norcom's offense coming out there. You look at...
Now they run a spread offense, so you're going to see a lot of receivers on running back. big tackle on this end.
Vernon Ballard, Frank, 6'5", 300 junior.
First in the lunch line right there on the end, the right end.
Look at that, good size. So it's like it's gonna be
Yeah, they moved too. That time, I think you're gonna see a little bit after the whistle play here in the first half. Both teams very excited as they warmed up in the rain. Temperature has warmed up greatly since yesterday.
Oh, for sure.
We're here on November 24th, 2018 on a Saturday afternoon. Friday was very clear, beautiful, but cold. Temperature warmed up overnight, but it brought the rain with us.
Yeah. You know, the kids don't mind playing it, though. They were pretty excited to be out here.
First and 15.
First and 15 now. Oh, and another movement.
That's the right guard that time, number 55. That's Keandre Hodges. So the Greyhounds going backwards.
Is that, it's like the ball's on the 10. The scoreboard's hard to read. It's like it's first and
it's on
20 from the 10, yeah.
They only got one playoff, and that was called back with a motion. Big tackles on both sides of that big Norcom line.
Yeah, good size kids on that side. So Smith in the shotgun. They're going to go to, he's actually going to keep it. He gets a pretty good gain. Actually gets the yardage back from the penalty.
Good tackle out there by Austin Gilliam. He's able to grab him as he crossed the 15. Threw him down just about the 17-yard line, second and about 13 for the Greyhounds.
Jacoby Smith, he's their 6-foot junior, threw 2 touchdown passes yesterday. Last week against Hopewell to pull them to this game here in the championship at Darling Stadium. Good-looking kid, 3-year starter.
Here they come in the spread. Receivers Kassan Dixon wide right. Looks like Talik Farmer. Well, that's a Taurus Jones there.
You see Norcom's band just coming in the stadium, Frank.
Tunnel traffic.
So Smith's going back to pass. He's got some pressure. He gets away. He's going to try to throw it to Dunlap.
Yeah, very dangerous pass. Dunlap tips that up in the air. The Phantoms are right there to make the interception, but it's out of bounds. Third down now and 13. The Phoebus defense doesn't seem to be worried at all so far by the spread. And, of course, they see that often here in the Peninsula District.
Do. A lot of teams run it.
Great article by the Daily Press's Marty O'Brien talking about Phoebus' ability to play against this spread offense. No, third and 13.
As the rain starts to
3 receivers
pick
right
up a little bit. Yep, 3.
Hargraves is safety, keeping his eye on everything.
Smith, they're going to go back to Dunlap. Dunlap with a cut, but he's going to be well short of the first down.
Tackle out there.
Looks like it was Smith?
Was it Trayvon Hayes, I think 22. These jerseys are going to get nothing. Maybe it's 32. John,
it was Hayes. I think Hayes did make it. Yeah.
The numbers are going to get a little muddy.
Yeah, especially for Norcom with the white jerseys. It's going to be a punt here, Frank. Hargraves is at the Norcom 40, so I don't think they think he's going to kick it. And
this is Rashawn Greenidge.
Greenidge doing the punting. Low snap, but he gets a pretty good punt off. It's not, Phoebus will not return it.
There you go. Steve Latimer checking up shot right there. Great golfer from Rochester, New York with us today. And he would hope all of his pitch shots land like that. So decent punt, puts the ball first and 10 for the Phantoms on their own 45. So not much from the Greyhound offense. Now with this little bit of rain, I would think Daniels may try something to the air this set of downs, see if he can loosen up that line.
Might be one of those games, Frank, first score wins.
But the heavy rain comes later this afternoon. It may just be that.
So Daniels, looks like they have Hayes and our guy Kimani Robinson in the backfield. Turner is the running back, and they're going to go to Turner. Turner up the middle. They like that up the middle play. It's the last time he ran up the middle and got a big gain.
He's at the 49-yard line, picks up 4 yards. 2nd and 6.
Well, they're in that puddle right around midfield.
If we get much more rain, and the federal government's going to designate it a wetland, and they're going to have to play around it because it is soaked right there at the 50-yard line.
So they gave him 4, 2nd and 6 now from the 49. Daniels back to Turner. Turner goes near side, gets a good block. Torres Jones knocks him out of bounds. Not before he gets a first down.
Well, it's a great run because they had the fullbacks both on the right side of the line, and then Turner went away from that side and was able to scoot around the corner and pick up the first down.
Good block. I think that was our guy, Gilliam.
Yeah, who was right out of here on the left end.
Silver, too.
Josiah Silver and Malik Hardy, I think, the guard.
As you can see, no throw so far, Frank, for Phoebus. Just going with that running game.
And they're picking up yardage. First down for them.
First down and 10 from the 39.
Man-to-man on Barry Hargraves up top.
That's going to be...
That's Marlon Jones that time, I think, dragging the ball a little bit. He thought about snapping it and didn't snap it, and that's going to cost him 5 yards. Jones upset it himself.
Yeah. They might have had something there, too, with that one-on-one.
Jones, a senior, 5'11", 248. Very reliable back there at center. Coach Dickie Van Dyke with the fingers taped so everybody can see his hands as if the rain comes in, it gets a little darker here. Lights on at Darling Stadium.
Yep.
Very little breeze is probably the only saving grace of all the fans that have come out. Norcom has actually put some fans in the stands on the far side.
So it's going to be 1st and 15. And now Phoebus is going to take a timeout.
Timeout called by the Phantoms. Norcom High School was started in 1913, first all-black high school, and the principal at the time was Israel Charles Norcom.
Oh, okay.
Stayed a couple of years, and then I believe passed away in 1916, but they named the high school after him. So they've been around a long time. Very historic program over there. A lot of basketball championships, but that one state championship, 1993. When they got they had a very good streak during that. They beat, in that year, they were 14-0. They beat Indian River, Hampton, Phoebus, Oscar Smith, and Booker T. Washington all in one season.
Wow.
They are 121-92 since 1999. To compare that, the Phoebus Phantoms 230-30.
Wow.
Since that, in 7 state titles for the Phantoms since the turn of the century.
Like there's more buses coming in here. So it's 1st and 15.
Band buses coming into park.
They're going to go to Turner. Turner with a
turn that time grabbed by number 22, Nakis Cross. Cross hangs on. Turner gets it up to the 40. So he picks up about 4 yards.
This is old school Phoebus football, Frank.
Well, if they keep going man-to-man on Hargraves, you're going to see some new school. That Dunlap out there guarding Barry Hargraves, I can't see the number. Is it 9?
No, it's 9.
That's Karan Prunty.
He was a good-sized kid, though. He's 6'2", 180.
He's got Latrell Smith. And a linebacker drops out to cover Barry Hargraves. Kamani Robinson steps up right behind Malik Hardy.
They're going to go to Turner. Turner, he's the feature back again today, but he stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
It's Antoine Power Island that comes up from his linebacker spot and makes the tackle. That looked like a good play. Kamani Robinson certainly had his block, but from the backside, Power Island very quick and was able to grab Turner before he could get behind the big fullback. 3rd and 11.
Daniels gets to play. 3rd and 11 from the 40, Frank. Again, this is one of those games. It just feels like whoever scores first.
Yeah, the rain started again.
Pick back up, yeah. So Daniels calling the play. Looks like he's going to change the play. Audible on the line.
And it's got 3 people watching Hargraves, but man-to-man on Dixon down here.
They got that stuff.
That's a late stop. That's on Kamani Robinson. Right at the feet is number 30, Cameron Stevenson for the Greyhounds.
That was Linwood White as well, 5'9", 220 senior, who got the initial hit.
So the Phantoms not able to do anything. They had 3 defensive backs guarding Hargraves. Somebody's going to see that in the Phoebus system.
Yeah, I mean, you got your best the player of the year, one-on-one coverage.
Well, it's going to come down to guys like Dixon and Tucker to make the catches this game.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
And if they go to Dallin Dixon, 6'2", 181, he was man-to-man on his coverage. Back for the Greyhounds coverage, Kassan Dixon, number 2. And the punter, Phantoms Devontae White.
Almost a block. Nope.
Short punt. And it's going to drop and stick right there at the 25-yard line.
Yeah,
they
so
mark it.
It's a defensive battle here. 2 teams that are known for their high-scoring offense.
Man, it's going to get more defensive. The weather is offensive. The football is defensive at the moment.
I see the bands are having their own little battle, Frank. Good to see both bands out here considering the weather.
Yeah, I'm sure the fans at home could hear a little bit on our microphones because we certainly can. Phantoms marching 2 dozen today, but I give it the hearty 2 dozen plus the flag staff in their little rain jackets. So thank them for coming out. Norcom in all their rain jackets over there. A few more, maybe 30, 35 kids.
Yeah.
But they're out here supporting their clubs.
We got 1st and 10 from the 23. White in the shotgun. It's going to fake a busted play, but Smith keeps it and gets maybe a yard or maybe 2 yards on the play.
Devontae White right in the middle there. He's in on the stop.
Like him and Dunlap got a little confused.
He was kind of looking around for somebody to hand the ball to and decided he had to take it himself. Coach Jeremy Blunt, the Peninsula District Coach of the Year, out directing his defense. You'll see him on the field as probably as much as the officials.
Just Vernon Ballard, Frank, 6'5", 300. Very imposing young man.
Yeah, there's 2 in the guards. No shrinking violet. That's number 55. That's Keandre Hodges, 6'1", 255, only giving 50 pounds away to his teammate.
Smith again in the shotgun. He'll be in the shotgun all day. 2nd and 7. They gave him 3 on that. They're going to go to Dunlap this time. Dunlap, not much of any room to run.
I would say none that time. They generously gave him a half a yard, but no room at the end.
I mean,
and Josiah Silver, who's the defensive lineman for the Phantoms, number 55, is as tall as some of those linemen, but he weighs 186 pounds with all of his equipment and in the rain. He plays a terrific defensive end.
He does. Phoebus has to avoid the big play, Frank, because it looks like Smith's going to put it in the air. It's 3rd and 6. Dunlap next to him. They're going to go back to pass. It's going to be complete. That might be Dixon, his favorite receiver.
Yep. That time the Phantom defense a little late over there. That was Dominic Edwards, the linebacker, trying to get over there quickly. Not able to do it. Robinson back in. Travion Stevenson out.
So Norcom's first completion.
First down.
Yeah, first down as well. Smith again in the shotgun. He's going to go to Dunlap. Dunlap.
The silver right on his back. At the feet out there was the Phantoms number 51, Austin Gilliam, who I know Coach Blunt's glad to have back.
Yes.
Sophomore, 5'10", 240.
So that might be the last play of the quarter, Frank. It's first quarter, a quick quarter too.
This game will be over in about an hour and 10 minutes with the rushing game today.
So that's the end of the quarter, Frank.
Well, after one, we haven't seen much offensive movement. Pretty good line defense by both squads. No score. And the Greyhounds are going to flip around and go from east to west here in the second quarter.
Not much to gauge after that first quarter, Frank. Didn't really learn much between, from both teams. Norcom, we know it's going to throw the ball. Obviously, with the conditions, they're going to probably mix in Dunlap a little bit more than normal. But Phoebus hasn't had a pass yet thrown from Daniels, so we'll see if they can mix it up in the second quarter.
Well, we have seen the Phantoms take their time to go to the passing game. So Chris Daniels will surprise him now in the second quarter at some point, especially if he finds Barry Hargraves lined up man-to-man, because you really just have to throw it behind and let Barry run it down.
I mean, we say that, and we saw that big run by Turner to open the first quarter. Just couldn't, they weren't able to punch it in after a penalty. But, you know, the running game, obviously, they're going to still stick with that. But just to mix it up, you got to go to your Offensive Player of the Year in the district, and that's Barry Hargraves.
Well, you've got several players of the year. Corey Wilson out there, number 9, the Defensive Player of the Year. And you've got Tylen Baldwin.
First team All-District.
First team All-District. You've got Gilliam, first team All-District defensive line. Josiah Silver, first team All-District defensive end. Dominic Edwards, first team All-District linebacker. Practically the whole team. Second team, Torrey Newsom.
And you got Coach Blunt, Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
So.
All right, here come the Greyhounds going east to west.
So they gave Dunlap 9 on the, they gave Dunlap 1 on that last carry. So 2nd and 9 from the 36-yard line. In motion, they're going to fake it. They're going to Dunlap, but Phoebus' defensive line, that's 55. That's
Silver,
our guy,
yeah.
Silver.
Josiah Silver's having no problem with anybody. There's a little after-the-fact shoving out there. Joshua Austin, 5'10", 181, just gives a shove to Werner Ballard, 6'5", 300.
They've been chirping all game.
May have hurt his hand pushing that big rock around.
Gee, 6'5", 300. That's Orlando Pace size there, Frank.
The big man.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it in context. Hard to believe, high school junior, right?
Yeah, junior. Elton Brown, you name him, that's about the size of it. I think Elton Brown's a little shorter, but 6'5", 300.
It's going to depend on his speed.
That's right.
Smith in the back in the shotgun.
A loss of 5. Phoebus showing blitz. Smith back to pass. Pretty good protection. He has time. He's going to have to get away from some pressure now, though. Smith is going to have to run it. He's going to get out of bounds. Be careful here as he gets out and safely gets out.
Yeah, trying to stop is a trick there. As nobody's going to catch him.
No.
They're going to let him go.
Let him go. And if you fall, it's on you. But they're going to go back to punt now.
Well, all that, he picked up about 4 yards.
He had time, but second we call that a coverage sack. As Baldwin and Hargraves and Corey Wilson with good coverage in the backfield there.
Rasan Greenidge, the punter, back, senior, 5'10", 220, number 21, and kicking them Barry Hargraves.
I will say this, Frank. I'm impressed by the crowd. I mean, with the rain and, like you said, Norcom has brought a decent crowd. Low snap. Still gets a pretty good punt off as Hargraves is going to go back. And this is going to take a Norcom bounce inside the 20 to about, the 13-yard line.
The whale of a punt. About a 50-yard punt, 53-yard punt.
And we didn't mention
for Greenidge
much about Norcom special teams, but they have a Swedish kicker. His name is Emil Lindholm, and from what I was told from the Norcom administration, he is a foreign exchange student, Frank.
And they just give him whatever number of the day, because he wasn't on the roster.
Yeah, he wasn't on the roster. He was a late addition to this team.
The late addition. He just arrived?
A few weeks ago. So he's number 15, so hopefully we'll see him and see what he can do. But Phoebus has the ball at the 13-yard line. Great punt by Greenidge.
Yeah, 53-yarder. Now, Amir Chandler, of course, the lineman for Phoebus, number 79, 6'3", 238. He's a sophomore on the left tackle position right now as they give guys like Silver a break.
What are these kids eating nowadays, Frank? Daniels under center. Sean Blitz. They're gonna.
And the young man Chandler jumps out there. It looks like they're going to call it on the Norcom Greyhounds because of the encroachment in the interior there.
Yeah,
so
Chandler.
that's a 5-yard pickup.
Yeah, he's 6'3", 238. I think he might be a little bigger than that, but that's what the roster says.
And that was before the season in the lunches over there at Phoebus.
Yeah, exactly. Sneaking over that culinary arts program and getting some of that.
That's right.
So there were 5 yards on the encroachment, so it's going to be 1st and 5 from the 18. Turner up the middle. He stopped.
That looks like number 6 there, Linwood White, wasn't it?
Yeah, 6
From
Linwood
his
White. Yeah.
linebacker spot. Had a hold of him up top. So picks up a couple. Down to about the 22.
Again, Phoebus is going to stay with the run.
3-yard gain, or almost 4. So a good run there. 2nd and 1.
Yep, 2nd and 1, Frank. You're right.
Hargraves man-to-man over here with Kassan Dixon, the senior cornerback. Hargraves just saying, watch me run.
They're going to give it to Turner. Turner is going to get the first down.
Drags him a few, up over the 25.
Man, this Turner kid, only a sophomore. Good-looking sophomore here for Phoebus. As we still haven't seen Jalen White, the junior running back who played most of the season. He's been out with an injury. So first down, Phoebus at the 25-yard line.
Well, the official today, the Peninsula Football Officials Association, Jim Mayhew's crew today. He's the referee. The umpire's Calvin Hill. Dwayne Bourne, the linesman. The line judge, Tim Mallory. The field judge, Jermaine Ball. Tony Harris, the side judge. And the back judge, Mike Mitchell. And, of course, on the clock, the great Herman Drone. That time they're running over the left side.
Oh, good run by Turner. Got about 9 on that carry.
Turner's got to be up close to 40 yards so far. He is up over the 30, down to about the 33.
Jabari Batten, he's the 6'1", 300-pounder senior coming in now on the offensive line. Comes in for Hardy.
Well, they're rotating and giving those guys a little breather because a lot of them play two ways.
Yeah,
so.
that's right, yeah. As you see Wallace working out as he missed that field goal earlier. Came up a little short.
Well, the high snap, and I think he got his foot too far under it due to that. And that's just
that's his range.
Timing, Yep, that certainly is.
So
Hargraves man-to-man.
Oh, my goodness. 2nd and 2, Kassan Dixon. Their great player on defense is checking him, but they're going to go back to the run. Turner is going to try to go inside, but that Norcom defense and that linebacker core is all over it.
They really were.
Taurus Jones, one of my favorite guys in high school. Got a chance to watch some film on him. He's a good-looking prospect, make the tackle.
Well, you see nobody out in front that time of Turner. Dickie Van Dyke talking to the side judge there
And Turner is your typical Phoebus back, Frank, with the speed and strength, but just couldn't get it around Jones. Again, we haven't seen Jalen White, the junior, yet.
Just see him on the sideline.
Yeah.
3rd and 1, though, for the Phantoms. This time Hargraves up top, Latrell Smith at the bottom, both in man-to-man coverage.
Daniels. That bunch formation that Phoebus just incorporated this year. They're going to go to Turner. Turner's going to be short, but he gets an extra push.
He pushes Trevon Hayes right in front of him.
He was stopped in the backfield, but he got away.
Well, Hayes
using that strength.
Hayes and Robinson in that double fullback, what we call the Lake Taylor offense, because we didn't see that till Lake Taylor.
You know, that's
when they had a fullback on either side of the quarterback.
And that's what they picked that up late in the season, and they kind of stuck with it since then.
Yeah, with two big guys like that, that's nice blocking up front.
Again, no pass attempts yet for Daniels.
Now Dixon drops way off of Hargrave. Now he comes up.
I don't blame him.
But the man-to-man of Latrell Smith.
Goes back to Turner. They're going to just keep running. This Turner slipped around right in that area where the field is a little tender, I would say.
Well, the fans would take a minute and watch Marlon Jones at center. That time, Cameron Stevenson right over top of him kind of tried to jump at him to make him jump. And that time, Marlon Jones just pushed him aside like a screen door. And he watched the play from over this side of the field as Turner went right by him on the left side. Good play by the center. And Jeremy Blunt moving guards and tackles in and out on this offensive line.
Doing a good job with the rotation. So 2nd and 5 from the 42. Back to Turner. Turner getting the workload here. He gets a first down and more.
Well, that's another great block by Trevon Hayes.
Marlon Jones as well.
Yep. Hayes comes across, picks up the cornerback. And Turner just showing what the Phantom running game looks like. Right at midfield now. Hardy out now, number 54.
First and 10 from midfield. 6:30 and counting as this fast-paced first half goes. As Turner he had a good chance to go outside, but he went inside and maybe got a yard.
Yeah, good tackle in there at the bottom. It looks like number 11, Taurus Jones again. Jones, whose uniform's getting too muddy to read, so that's how you see him in the backfield there, the defensive backfield. Slowly the number is fading into the obscurity of the mud. Phoebus Dynamic double dozen out there, really playing some music today. It's great to hear them here, and they're sitting out there in the driving rain, much to their mother's chagrin.
I know.
Be a lot of Vicks Vapo rub tonight around the crowd.
A lot of people not coming to school on Monday. 2nd and 9, they gave him one from the 48. Daniels with Hayes in the backfield, Frank. A little different wrinkle here from Phoebus.
And this time it's just Daniels right in the middle. Good stick there at the bottom. That was Jones again at Chris Daniels' feet.
So a different wrinkle with Hayes in the backfield.
Yeah, give Turner a blow because he has really carried the load so far. He's over here stretching his leg on the back of the bench, stretching that right leg. And Jalen White still standing next to the trainer.
Yeah, I'm going to, at halftime, figure out what's his deal as the rain picks up again.
Yeah, now
raining harder.
We have hard rain now.
Yeah. Again, 0-0, Frank, no score. And again, first score, probably.
3rd and 7.
This is a huge third down here. Oh, good fake. Daniels is going to go for the run, and he had Hargraves out in the flat,
but he couldn't wait for him. Hargraves turned, and he wasn't open, so he turned and tried to go around his defender and couldn't get deep enough in time for Daniels to spot him. So Daniels jumps over the fish pond and lands on the other side and gets tackled.
You know, it was a good fake, though. I mean, it was, you know, as you see, Norcom went with the run, had a chance to throw the ball, but, you know, Kason Dixon, their best defender, was all over Hargraves.
Devontae White back to punt for the Phantom.
And at the aforementioned Kason Dixon is going to receive the punt at about the, 15-yard line.
Now he's going to be dangerous in these wet conditions.
Very dangerous. Low snap. It takes us. This could be blocked. Oh, he just got it off. But the good thing is no return from Dixon. And that's the third time, I think, Frank, that Norcom's got close to that punt.
29-yard line to start for the Greyhounds here with 3:42 to go in this fast-moving ball game.
Yeah.
Since the clock never stops for the runs, and
you're right, but because the guy got to come around.
Man,
right now the rain is
probably as hard
almost
as
making the obscuring our view of the field. It's that heavy.
Yeah.
It's a sea of umbrellas in front of us.
But the good thing is they'll still play. Actually, the kids like playing in this, believe it or not.
Now they're wet now, so I just hope the locker rooms are warm.
See if Norcom still goes with the pass, and they will. Dixon, it's going to be an incomplete pass. It was intended for number 21, Greenwich.
And that Greenwich didn't expect it. He turned around.
I don't think it was intended for him.
They put his hand out. Not much of a pass there by Smith.
Interesting, Norcom's still going to pass with the rain. That's their game, though. That's what they like to do.
Well, we watch Vivian Bentley, the team photographer.
Hope she can go over under that tent. There she is.
For Phoebus over here. Vivian taking some great photographs for their yearbook. She's out here every game, especially in the playoffs.
So incomplete. 2nd and 10 now from the 23. Norcom going to go with a handoff. That's number 13. That's Lawrence. Lawrence has some room, and Lawrence is going to take this to the house. Let's see if Phoebus can catch up with him. He's going to be tackled at around the 5-yard line. A simple,
well, there are two holds on the play. Neither of them called, and one hold on about the 40-yard line. You see the jersey being pulled back. No call right next to the official. But
Lawrence,
a good run.
Yep, that's like Salon Lawrence.
Yeah, 5'7", 140.
And he took the direct. Well, it wasn't a direct snap, but it was almost like an end around. Quick, what they call it, a quick snap.
Yep.
And he took that to the 3-yard line.
Well, that's hard to get. I saw the linebacker being held downfield, and then the hold on the cornerback, but not called. So the Phantoms had to stiffen now. Greyhounds 1st and goal on the 5.
3:29. We'll have to mark that one, Frank, as one of the key plays. High snap, and Smith is going to have to get on it because Phoebus defense was there. Oh, what a play!
Yeah, that's a bad break for Norcom right there.
Again, the conditions. That's when the conditions come into factor there. Wet ball, yeah.
Now, of course, last week against York, the officials let the York guys pick up the running back and carry him in about 10 yards. You remember that? And I'm surprised they
offensive face mask. One thing, the lineman pulled the face mask.
Pulled him right on in.
Pulled him right in. So luckily for Norcom, they still have it, but they lost 10 yards on that one. So it's going to be 2nd and goal from the 15 now. So Smith in the shotgun. It's going to keep. He fakes to Dunlap, and that's Edwards all over that one. Yep. It's a good tackle by Edwards.
Dominic Edwards, senior, 5'9", 215. Middle linebacker, and he is a terror.
Yes, he is.
Oh, Kamani Robinson comes out.
It's going to be a timeout, Frank, by Phoebus. And, again, Phoebus has a long run, taken away by a penalty. Norcom has a long run, taken away by a high snap. So it's going to be 3rd and goal from the 16.
Meanwhile, stay tuned for halftime. We're going to bring out an ark and start loading animals 2 by 2 here at halftime. Sponsored by the local veterinarian practice. And then if you want to send the Coast Guard, let's go. Let's go. My friend Steve Latimer is visiting us from Rochester, New York, come down all this way to see the Phoebus Phantoms. He's heard about them for years, read about them in the paper up there in Rochester. A little slow sports town. So,
well, you know, it's funny you mentioned that. Being an Oriole fan, our AAA affiliate was the Rochester Red Wings.
There you go.
So I used to always hear. That's the only way I knew about Rochester.
Now you know 2 things.
I know 2 things. I know Steve
from the golf pro from Rochester, New York.
And they want to tell everybody UVA, right? UVA former roommate.
That's right. Yep. We spent a lot of time together, and it wasn't in the library, sadly.
You know, when
don't tell my parents.
One of the stories I tell people that I know you, I tell people that you went to school with Ralph Sampson.
We did. We got to watch Ralph play. It was a great honor of ours during our years in school to watch Ralph and that great team up there. 3rd down.
Smith
and
back
goal.
To pass. It's going to be I'm about to say complete, but he dropped it. He was open.
Right, and Salon Lawrence, who's had a good game so far.
Yeah, it's going to be. Yeah, he was definitely open, Frank.
Well, Baldwin's first team all defense, but there are times that he seems to be a step behind these receivers, and that time he was.
Oh, he was open.
But Lawrence.
Oh, they're gonna go for the field goal here. Yeah, Lawrence had it. He just maybe the rain or the.
Well, this is the Swede. You say the Swede, right? This is Emil Lindholm. Apparently the only guy in Sweden that doesn't play hockey. He's a kicker.
So he's again he was a late pickup, Frank. So
well, they told him about the weather today. He said this is a fine summer day. So that's what.
They probably wish that pass was complete, and he's had to come out here in the rain and the wet. Not sure what his range is, but we'll see here. It's going to be where's the ball on the 15?
Yeah, about a 32-yarder.
32-yarder. That's probably manageable for him.
Speaking of wet, let's talk about our cameraman Steve Fryer being out here today with us. Steve out on the deck with the camera, and doing a great job.
And I told him, I said, Steve, you should come inside. He said, I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about the camera. It shows his dedication.
That's the dedication that we see from Steve Fryer.
That's right.
But we want to thank him for joining us today at the ball game, to bring you this ball game.
And then we were talking to some former LSC photographers.
Ron Bateman and Nathaniel Braxton.
Talking about the Mud Bowl they shot in Richmond.
Oh, there's a lot of memories of that game.
Yeah.
Virginia Union Football Stadium up there. Patrick Henry of Ashland versus Hampton High and Ronald Curry.
So let's hope we have some memories of this game, Frank. As you see, look how he's Lindholm with that Euro step to get ready for that kick. And he looks like he's going to be ready. He's ready, and then thinks. Is he going to call another timeout? No,
the trick is going to be the hold, so let's see if they can snap and hold here.
Oh.
And it gets away from Lindholm's going to fall on the ball, which smartly does. But the ball be down at the 30. And for Lindholm, the first mud on the uniform. But he does prevent further advancement of the ball by roll. And the Phantoms take over at the 30. So a long run by Salon Lawrence.
And Lawrence was the holder, and it slipped out of his hands.
So Lawrence has kind of a mixed set of downs there. He makes the long run, then he drops the pass that was in his hands in the end zone. So and that's a tough catch for the holder.
They definitely dodged one on that one.
You know, the weather with 2:09 to go, the fans would love to get on the board here. They're going to have to get inside the 20 to give Wallace a chance.
They definitely dodged one there with a great run by Lawrence.
Raining too hard to tell you which way the wind's blowing. It's kind of straight down.
Looks like Daniels might go for a pass here. Hargraves goes in motion. No, they're going to give it to him.
Yeah.
First time he probably touches the ball today. Oh, he had some room. Good block.
And a great tackle out there by the Greyhounds, number 28, Kashawn Wallace.
Yeah, Smith had a great block, and first time Hargraves to touch the ball.
But Barry picks up 5 yards, his first touch of the game.
Surprising. Very surprising.
Well, they're trying to figure a way to get him the ball without having to throw it in the rain.
So they gave him 5. It was a 2nd and 5 from the 35.
He is man-to-man by Karan Prunty over there. And
Prunty's a good-sized kid, though, 6'2".
yeah, but you got it. Speed is what you're looking for.
So they're going to
Turner.
It's going to Turner, yeah. And they're all over Turner. Good tackle made by number 4. That's Antoine Powell-Ryland.
Several tackles by Powell-Ryland so far. Very good defensive play. No pickup there by Turner.
6'3", 225, Frank Jr.
Phoebus cheerleaders out with their plastic jackets over their winter attire. Thank you, young ladies, for being out here. It's a lot different. They start in August
in
the heat of the parking lot there at Phoebus High School, and here they're out here in the chill and the rain of November afternoon.
It's like the band. I hear the band early mornings in August preparing for the season. So time is ticking here, Frank. 43 in counting as Daniels is trying to see what he has to. He's trying to audible. Yeah.
He was waiting for a timeout.
Yeah.
Jeremy Blunt had the ear of the lines judge there. So timeout call. That's their third timeout. 39 seconds left here at Darling Stadium. No score in this regional championship. So the Poquoson Bull Islanders knocked off last night by Goochland, I believe it was. It beat them in their regional championship.
Wow.
That's Division II, I believe.
2, yep.
And then in the 4, the Lafayette Rams of Williamsburg defeated handily by the Lake Taylor Titans, a team that Phoebus lost to only by 4, and only because of a really bad call. And I'll say it again, on a drop pass, it's called a completion. Picked up about 30 yards for the
back
Titans.
judge makes that call. I mean, the referee was sitting right in the middle of the play. Yeah, they took it on the chin last night, and Lake Taylor's a great team. They've gotten better, since the last time we had them on LSC. So, you always root for the 757. Hopefully they can go out and get a 4A, a Class 4 state championship. They play a team from Stafford called Eastern View next week at Lake Taylor.
Yeah, there's going to be some good football coming up. This is, again, the state quarterfinals, the regional championship state quarterfinals. So this is for a spot in the Final Four.
Norcom switching their defense around. Now Norcom calls timeout. They weren't ready. As their captain, Tars Jones, didn't like what he saw on the defensive side, and he calls a timeout.
Smart to get ready. Larry Archie very happy with his captain, and they're going to talk about what they saw from the Phoebus alignment.
I'll give it up to the Norcom crowd, Frank, coming all the way from Portsmouth. Decent, considering the rain, the holiday, and that might actually be the reason why more people are here because of the holiday. Maybe they're home for the break and they want to come see their alma mater and they want to see some of their family members that are playing today. So congratulations to them for coming out here and supporting the bands out here, like we said earlier.
Some of the Phoebus faithful here today. Haven't seen our friend Wayne Gomes yet.
Yeah, he came out last week.
A little wet for Wayne.
What are you calling him, a diva, Frank?
Yeah, well, I thought bringing the cameraman and the 3 guards last week was a little unnecessary, but former major leaguer Wayne Gomes, of course, a Phoebus graduate.
Great guy.
Yep.
3rd and 5 from the 35. Smith goes in motion. They fake it to him. They go to Turner up the middle. He had an opening.
He did, and he went the other way. That time the tackle made, of course, by number 11, Taurus Jones, who's just being told to knock it off. He grabbed his leg a little bit aggressively at the end, but good stop by Jones, who's been the heart of that defense.
He has 20 seconds left now, and Norcom calls a timeout. They're going to get the ball back here. Of course, Jones, according to Matt Hatfield, has a lot of offers. I think ODU and JMU are his favorites. And I'm sure any program that wants a good linebacker would love to have him on their team. He's been really impressive.
He doesn't look overly big when he's out there, but he's 6'3", 220.
Just have a knack for the ball, as they say.
So the Greyhounds are going to force the Phantoms to handle the ball on one more play. 20 seconds to go here in the first half. They're going to talk about whether they're going to punt it or not.
Man, I would just punt this and get this out of here.
Well, neither team, the clock will stop with the down.
Yeah, but I will say, Norcom has gotten really close to the Phoebus punts here lately, so you don't want anything dangerous to happen.
The snap's going to have to be a little more on point on the long snap. Just watched a Greyhound out there, Antoine Powell-Riley, trip on, and his shoe got stuck in the mud. He fell over.
Really?
And he kind of stopped and got his foot caught just awkwardly and fell. The mud. He's having a little trouble with that left shoe.
Oh, something on it.
Something's kind of unwrapped.
String or something, yeah. So Phoebus is going to go for it here, 4th and 2. With 20 seconds left, the rain again slows up, so that's a good thing. Goes to Turner, who's been the workhorse tonight. He smacked behind line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that's Dante Brown who made the stop, and the ball will go over to the Greyhounds with 16 seconds to go here in the first half.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to try a shot at the end zone here, Frank, with Jacoby Smith. The pretty good arm. He has some good receivers. He's going to try to go down to try to get a touchdown here.
The rain has slacked a little bit since mid-quarter.
Yeah, it's going to be off and on all game. I just wish it didn't rain as hard before the game as you see the field there around midfield.
Well, you can see where the teams have been playing, right there between the 40s. So 1st and 10 for the Greyhounds from the Phantom 39-yard line. In the backfield is DeMonte Dunlap behind the quarterback Jacoby Smith.
You see Purdy out here near side. So Smith back to pass. This is what I thought. He's going to go deep.
He hit right at the end. And Baldwin runs right underneath it. I don't understand that at all, and neither does his teammate.
Let's turn around. He would have had an interception.
That's Devon Davis looking at Baldwin like that was yours to pick off. Backley hit him in the helmet. So that takes it down to 10 seconds and gives the Greyhounds at least one more play.
Looks like Smith was just trying to air it out and just maybe give his opportunity. Was that Dixon out there? Dixon wasn't chance.
I'll be candid. We haven't seen much of an arm off him as far as accuracy or any sort of velocity. And of course, throwing a wet football on a muddy field is
not easy. Yeah,
is not easy. But that was more of a Hail Mary. Ain't going to do it again, it looks like.
10 seconds left. Smith.
Silver's going to get him from behind. He's got a hand on him, got a hold finally on big number 70.
I hope that's what it was.
He cannot stop Josiah Silver.
On that edge, he's getting there. Well, it might be an offside. Was it an offside? Was he?
No, I think it's a hold. Yeah.
Okay, hold. Okay.
That was on Silver. Silver had slipped around the side, and the tackle had no choice but to try to grab him. Say number 71, Vernon Ballard had him by the shirt. Let's go move it back 10 yards.
So 3 seconds left, Frank. 0-0.
A hard-fought game, very fast-moving game.
Actually, we were talking about predictions earlier. I think Matt Hatfield did predict a 14-7 game. So let's see what. That's halftime. That's gonna end it here.
And that does it. They stop the clock after the penalty is marked off, and we go to the half here. Phoebus and Norcom in a 0-0 tie here at the 3A Regional Championship. We'll be back with a few comments before we start the second half from Darling Stadium. Frank Edgar, Wube Gabray with Steve Fryer here with you from LSC 48. All right, we're back here at Darling Stadium for the second half. In a scoreless game, the Phoebus Phantoms and the Norcom Greyhounds. We want to welcome into LSC 48 my friend Steve Latimer from Rochester, New York. Steve visiting today to watch the game, and Steve and I have covered a lot of sports in our lifetime.
Absolutely.
Tell us, what do you think of the Phoebus Phantoms and the Norcom Greyhounds here on this rainy afternoon?
Well, before I talk about the game, I just want to say it's been an absolute pleasure to see again. It's been way too long. And you gave me a nice tour of the historic town of Hampton, which, something I really groove on. And thank you for your hospitality. Game's been very, very interesting just because of the field conditions. I think certainly that's the winner of the game. game. Almost the biggest play of the game was the 50-yard punt that changed the field position, but offenses can't do anything. That looks like the coaches really want to stay close to the vest and really not take any chances, which probably needs to be taken care of in the second half for anybody to score. And your color analyst, I'm not sure who does play-by-play or color, but he was saying first score wins, and it's very possible the next team who put something on the board is going to take this game.
Now, you were mentioning, we mentioned the great Barry Hargraves, number 4 for the Phantoms. He touched the ball once, picked up 5 yards and ended around. We got to get the Phantoms have got to get him involved more. I'm
kind of curious why he split out so wide. You can't. I don't think Phoebus has attempted a pass, and with him being split so wide, it's going to be even hard to get him there. They did a nice sprint draw around there, and you could see his speed, and he was pretty close to breaking it. The workhorse, the number 7 running back, he's had a nice game, and he broke one, and obviously we had the run from Norcom.
Yeah, that's at Salon Lawrence. For the Greyhounds, Salon Lawrence, number 13, the senior 140-pounder as he listed, but he flew around the end and nearly took it in the end zone.
Yeah, but once again, the field conditions are really the winners. They had it up there, 5 yards goal to go, and they lost 13 yards in the drive and attempted the field goal. And once again, like I said, basic execution is really showing it's being the biggest factor in this game today.
Well, the field conditions not getting any better over halftime. The rain had almost stopped right at the end of the first half. We've got another heavy period of rain here, and we're expecting heavier rain later this afternoon. Seems to me that the Phantoms are going to have to figure out how to loosen up the middle a little bit. We've watched the Norcom linebacker, Taurus Jones, get nothing but stronger, number 11, whose number is starting to fade there. He was getting so much action and end up in the mud. But they're going to have to figure a way to get him to move back a little bit and give and they have to do that with some short passes.
Absolutely. You can see on the field how in between the numbers and the hash marks, the field's pretty torn up. So getting outside, I think, is where the best field conditions are. And obviously with all the speed on both teams, somebody's going to have to break one on the outside, although we did see a couple good runs from Phoebus on the inside.
Now, Steve, you're a New York native. You're a golf pro up there in Rochester. This weather is what, kind of midsummer?
Midsummer, come on. Spring or fall. I left Rochester. It was below freezing, which is probably going to be the condition until March or April. And there was snow on the ground. We got about 8 inches of snow on November 12th. I'm a golf professional at Genesee Valley Golf Club, and that pretty much closed our golf course and ended our season.
Well, that 8 inches of snow caught my son in Charlotte, Vermont as well. They had the same 8 inches, and then they had a little more on top of that. The Phantoms have changed their jerseys here at halftime. Obviously, going to some dry shirts. Now, the Phantoms, you think these are hard to read, by the way. They have a set of white ones with white numerals and blue outline, which we complain about every time we see them. But they've switched, and they're going to the black with the blue numerals and the gold outline. So it'll be a little harder to see, especially if one of them hits the mud. Game clock down to a minute now. Herman Drone trying to speed it along. That was a very fast first half. What do you expect out of Norcom here? You've seen Norcom as much as I have this year. What do you expect out of them in the second half?
Well, like I said, running is the safest way to play offense today. We did see a couple throws, and obviously the kid dropped the ball in the end zone, which could have been a score, but at least they're trying to get something done in the air, so they're not afraid to throw the ball, which is obviously, like I said, we need to see a little bit more variety and a little somebody taking some chances on
offense.
That's
right, yeah, and they're going to get the ball first here. Well, Steve, thanks for being with us here on LSC 48. Always a pleasure. Stay around. The game will be over so quick. We can go get a bite to eat like we started the day with breakfast. We can go get something else.
Well, Steve wants to sleep in his own bed tonight. And, it's only 9 hours away by driving. Good thing I don't have to take a horse and carriage or something like that. But we'll see how we feel about this game today.
Great to have you here, man. Thanks so much. Yep.
Appreciate it.
Steve Latimer from Rochester, New York, going to give away to Wube Gabre as the Phantoms get ready to kick.
Awesome.
Phantoms in their completely illegible uniforms now. So we're going to go with Wallace, the kicker we normally can pick up on because his hair goes out of the back end of the helmet.
And I was told he wasn't going to cut his hair until after the season, so It's still going to be, is it still back there? It's flowing,
Yep.
actually.
The ball tossed by Caleb Randolph and stuck in the mud. It just landed right in the mud and stuck there. Wallace going to tee off here, or kick off from the 40. Rain is just a steady drizzle, kind of a heavy drizzle right now.
Puddle over near the bench. Right?
Yeah, the bench is, especially on this side, the south side of the field, getting a little wetter by the minute. Fans all with the umbrellas. Good crowd here for the regional championship, despite the weather. Wallace to kick off, back deep. Norcom number 2, Kassan Dixon. And he kicks to the ground ball, and it's going to sit right there on the 18, picked up by Norcom's number 25, Carnell McElroy. And he is tackled out there by Phoebus Phantom. So McElroy with a good return, but tripped down. It looks like number 34 for the Phantoms, Jermon Simon Davenport, that made the stop. So 1st and 10 for the Greyhounds here in the third quarter. No score from Darling Stadium. Wube Gabray and Frank Edgar, along with Steve Fryer, bringing you the ball game today on LSC 48. 1st and 10 from the 26.
Again, this feels like the old games when you play when you grew up. Next point wins. So Dixon back to pass. It's going to be incomplete, almost intercepted, and there's a late flag.
Flag dropped on the Phantom side of the ball. Didn't see what it was. Maybe man downfield. That's a long way away from the action. We'll see what the call is. Jim Mayhew. Now they're going to pick the flag up.
No flag.
Mayhew's crew out there. We forget that those men have been out there today in the rain. Jim Mayhew, Calvin Hill, Dwayne Bourne, Tim Mallory, Jermaine Ball, Tony Harris, and Mike Mitchell, along with Herman Drone up here. A little drier, running the clock.
A lot drier. Dixon back to pass. Again, actually goes to the up man. Uh-oh. This is our man, number 3, the running back, Dunlap. Dunlap with a full speed of run. He gets tackled at the 20. It looks like Corey Wilson.
No, it was
that Corey Wilson?
It's hard to see. I'm going to say it's Devon Davis. Or Torrey Newsom. No, it's Davis. Davis ran him down. So a good burst up the middle for Dunlap. Said one of the fastest men with the football, and he showed it there. So 1st and 10 from the 21 of the Phantoms for the Norcom Greyhounds.
I say a dry field. He might have taken it to the house, Frank. Back to Dixon. Back to Dunlap.
And no room at the end there. He may have picked up a yard. He's down to the 20. No, nothing in the middle that time. At the instant replay today, we could have seen how that line opened up again. The one thing that the Phantoms have done today, for the most part, is keep the runs to a yard or less. But they've given up 2, one end around and one that time by Dunlap, off right tackle.
So they gave him 1, and they're going to.
Time call on the field as they get the lineman number 73. Who's not on the roster, but I would say it may be a spare jersey. No, he gets his helmet strapped on.
So 2nd and 9, Frank. Smith fakes the run. He's going to throw it.
Hargrave's got a bead on it.
Oh, it's going to be picked off in the end zone, and it's going to be down.
So Hargrave had a bead on it, and it was his teammate.
It's like Hargrave just was waiting for it.
Hargrave is sitting there calmly waiting for it and got bumped into by both the receiver and the defender who made the ultimate interception.
And instead of bringing it out, great heady play.
Who was that on the interception? Was it Baldwin?
Davis. Like 27 Davis.
So Davis with the star of the drive there brings the runner down. Devon Davis, a senior, 6'1", 168.
Could have taken it out, Frank, but he decided to down it in the end zone.
A smart move. Now, let's see what the Phantoms offense can do here. Their first possession of the game.
New unis, nice and dry.
Scotch guard, probably.
Ducking a whole lot of books.
Daniels under center. It's going to go to Turner. Turner cuts it inside. You got to hold on to the ball because Phoebus is going to. Phoebus. Norcom's going to try to go for the strip.
It looks like, is that Torres Jones? Yeah, Torres Jones, who's had just a monster day at linebacker today. 6'3", 220. Be interesting to see where he ends up next season. He'll be playing on Saturdays.
Oh, for sure.
Other Saturdays.
Yeah.
So second down and about 8 for the Phantoms. See, we haven't even called Latrell Smith's name all day. He's out to the left side. Barry Hargraves to the right. Both man-to-man coverages. The safety steps in. Thomas White's a safety for the Greyhounds.
Goes back to Turner. He gets stopped in the backfield again.
Somebody's right on the feet of him down there. Looks like the number 33, Tion Costin, had his feet.
Phoebus just playing conservative ball here. Obviously, with the conditions, you don't want to make a mistake. One mistake can cost this game, but again, you have Hargraves on the outside with man-to-man coverage, no high safety.
Well, Kassan Dixon with the whitest jersey on is the cornerback, and he's played an integral part of this game. Not like he hadn't been on tackles. On the far side is Karan Prunty, 6'2", 180-pound cornerback. Both receivers go right.
So 3rd and 7, Frank, from the 23. Daniels back to pass. Little pressure. He's going to take off running. He's going to be close to a first down. He's going to get it.
So he gets across the 30-yard line. First down and 10 for the Phantoms. Good play by Chris Daniels there. It's just something last year as a sophomore we didn't see a lot of, him making a really good decision like that. But he's done it this year.
Yep.
And deservedly the first-team all-district quarterback.
He was looking for Hargraves over there. Just couldn't.
Boy, they gave him just the 30. Daniels, number 10. And I'm sure Steve Fryer's camera is picking up the numbers probably better than our eyes are here in this rain. In mid-afternoon here on the 24th of November, 2018, in the regional championship game at Darling Stadium in the rain.
1st and 10 from the 30. Daniels. I would think it's going back to Turner, and then that's where it's going, to Turner. Turner cuts up the field, saw a little hole, almost got through.
Great block out here by Trevon Hayes as he had, it's number 26, Tion Garland. He pushed him 10 yards wide. There's been some good man-to-man battles in here by both lines trying to hold their own. They're doing a good job. 5 yards for Turner.
Picked up, 5, Frank? So
Yeah,
second and
good
5.
run.
Yeah, good run by Turner.
And the double fullbacks come up on either side of the quarterback.
It's like Jalen White's in the game now, Frank. I haven't seen him in a few weeks. It's going to go to Jalen White. He should be fresh.
All-district running back gets up over the 40-yard line. He picks up the first down.
Again, Jalen White, we haven't seen him in a couple weeks. He gets in the game.
Good to see Jalen White back in. White, 5'10", 178-pounder, junior. And he's had a monster year back there.
Yes, he has.
Earning first-team all-district honors. But has been out and slowed with an injury the last 3 or 4 weeks.
3 or 4 weeks, yeah. Didn't play.
Maybe in the Heritage, when they finished that Heritage game, I think he
so.
got dinged up in that.
That's when Daniels got dinged up as well.
Yeah. Played one half against Heritage. They played one half in September, one half in November, or late October. White by himself back there.
No Hargraves in the game. It's Tucker on the far side and Latrell Smith near side. They go back to Jalen White. Jalen White.
He's up over the line of scrimmage down to about the 40, almost to the 44-yard line. So pretty potent offense when you can bring in Andre Turner, the sophomore, and pick up the yards he's picked up today.
And go back to White.
And go to the all-district performer. Daniels gets a play from Jeremy Blunt, Peninsula District Coach of the Year.
Oh, how you got that?
Wrapped up in his blue rain jacket, Dickie Van Dyke, the assistant coach with the finger tape.
Gave him 3 on that carry. It's going to be 2nd and 7.
Fullbacks both on the right side of the quarterback.
Daniels.
And they both pull.
Jalen White can't get outside, and he's tackled.
Right, trying to hold on. That's number, is that Nakees Cross? Number 22 had him.
It looks like 5 as well, Thomas White.
Well, it looks to me like Larry Archie doing some similar things. We're getting some new players in and out, trying to give especially his two-way performers a little breather. Not much for White there. 3rd and 9 now for the Phantoms.
Huge 3rd down again, Frank. 6:20 and counting.
Latrell Smith wide right. Barry Hargraves wide left. And that's number 15, Dallin Dixon. Also right.
So Daniels in the shotgun. They're going to toss it to White. And there's our guy, Taurus Jones. He actually gets tripped up. It looks like by number, who is that on that far side? 26.
26 maybe. Tion Garland. Yeah, that's Jim Schaffner, the great voice of Darling Stadium. Confirmed. Tion Garland.
They're going to punt here.
So a punt now for the Phantoms. Every special teams play is going to be a dangerous one. We were listening to Steve Latimer here during halftime. He was noted that the big play was the long punt.
Now you ask yourself, Frank, what can you do to score? I mean, at this point, with the conditions the way they are, we've seen both teams with big plays just not able to punch it in. Like Norcom tried to get the offsides, and they get this punt off.
Decent punt. And it rolls down to the 25-yard line. So decent punt.
So not quite the mud bowl, Frank, as we saw a little roll that time on the punt, but it's on the far side.
I'd say punt or a skip. Could we call that a skip?
A little skip, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, Frank, how can you score in these conditions in this situation here?
Well, both coaches.
Or do you just play it safe and try to just kind of go for the overtime, I guess?
This is a veteran coaching staff we said here. Jeremy Blunt probably a little younger than Larry Archie. But both have been around this football game for a long time, and we'll see what these two veterans come up with. The spread offense for Norcom again.
That's the play that they got a big playoff.
It's Lawrence.
That's going to come back. That's 3 flags on the field.
All holds or blocks in the back.
Like couple block in the backs, yeah.
So we'll see the officials sort this out. And that's going to go way back. Got a flag thrown about the 19-yard line. And it seems to be a hole. I see Jim Mayhew with the arm signals talking to his fellow officials, looking for a captain to decide what to do. Mayhew's going to come out and tell us what's going on. They're going to push him back.
Yeah, this could be.
That's the question. Holding. So that's the penalty.
This could be a situation, Frank, where
what a loss of yardage that was. That's back to the 9.
Yeah. This could be a situation where Phoebus could get the momentum back.
Could we see a 2-0 game here?
Could.
That's the question.
I've never seen one, but it could happen today.
And the snap is high. That's low that time. And
good defense.
That ball is very lucky to be in the hands of the running back. Oh, my goodness. They call a flag on tackling him.
Come on.
And so in tackle football, they call a flag on tackling.
Oh, they're going to cost 15 yards, isn't it?
That's a really poor call.
That's terrible.
Personal foul.
You're right, Frank. In tackle football,
tackling,
you can't tackle.
The penalty is tackling in a tackle football game. As the rain gets heavier, almost to as the heavens express their disappointment with that call.
That's horrible.
The floodgates open, and down comes the heavy rain. And a big play.
Hey, Jim, say it was on tackling.
So Mayhew's going to have to come over and explain that why tackling a quarterback when you have him wrapped up and you're pulling him down is a 15-yard penalty. It is going to be first now and about 13 for the Greyhounds as they pick up the bulk of that their losses. No, it's marked second down now.
Should be second and what, 9?
No, it's second and about 14 if we look at the
second and 13. You're right.
So Jacoby Smith gets a break, hands the ball off, and that time that's Dunlap right up to about the 25. So maybe a yard short.
So in high school, personal fouls aren't first downs, Frank, which
is a big difference.
Big difference, yeah. See, they got the 15 yards. It's going to be third and maybe 12. So Phoebus still in good shape. If they can just get this ball turned to a third and 11 now, they can get this ball back here.
So here we go, third and about 12.
Smith goes back to pass. Nobody's open. He's going to have to just tuck it in. Don't call that.
That's Corey Wilson that leveled the quarterback. Quarterback ducked out of the way.
I thought they were going to maybe call a
I did too. Well, Corey can lead with that arm sometimes, and he's be very lucky not to get that call. That was probably a worse certainly looking play than the tackle. But
well, another thing too is he's a runner at that point. You know, he's not a quarterback, so.
Well, and here comes the trick. Rashawn Greenidge, the punter, and just
in these conditions,
feel bad for the punters and the long snappers, as they are going to have to catch. You got to have a good snap, good catch, and a good kick. And the Phantoms are going to try and get it. There's nobody back for Phoebus, figuring they can't kick it, but so far in a heavy downpour,
they're not going to try to return it.
They're going to send everybody. And the Phantoms run right into the kicker. And that, again.
Is that a run or is that on high school? There's no. Is there a difference in high school? I'm not sure.
Well, that wasn't even close. The young man just ran right into it.
Who was that?
It looks to be 32, maybe, Joshua Austin.
Or is that Caleb Randolph?
No, it's Austin. Joshua Austin runs right smack into the punter and knocks him down. But there's really nothing to say about that play other than that was not a good one.
Well, again, Frank, you know, these little mistakes like that can cost you. First down. Norcom.
Now, again, they've had a couple mistakes today. That's a biggie here in the second half. 2:31 to go in the third quarter. No score here from Darling Stadium.
And again, they started at one point the ball's on the 9-yard line, Frank.
They get a 15-yard penalty brought up to the 40.
Yeah.
It's probably the third biggest pickup for the Norcom Greyhounds today.
So first and 10. Rain has slowed a little bit, but the field is a mess.
Dunlap around the end.
Goes through a puddle and a few mud flaps, and he gets through.
Yeah, he's down. He picks up a couple in a generous spot. We got one line judge at the 41, the other one at the 42. Remarkable spot, and Jeremy Blunt cannot believe it. That was a horrible spot, and Jeremy Blunt, the coach of Phoebus, is reading the riot act to the line judge.
Gave him extra 2 yards.
Well, 2nd and 8 for the Norcom Greyhounds as they try to extend the drive here. Rain has slackened a little bit. And we see a little blue sky through the clouds, but we expect more of a steady rain in just about 30 minutes.
There we go, 2nd and 8 from the 42. 1:37 and counting. And Norcom's going to call a timeout.
Yeah, a lot of confusion on both sides of the ball as the fans were trying to recognize what Norcom was doing and Norcom trying to figure out what they were doing. So Larry Archie wisely takes a timeout, 2nd and 8. Every play now is going to be vital. We'll change Wu Bei's prediction here. It'd be the only team to score wins this game.
You're right. No matter when we say score, we don't mean touchdown. It'd be safety, field goal, anything.
Well, folks, thank you for joining us here on LSC 48. If you like what we do, just let the City Council and the City School Board know that you enjoy the broadcast here. We got a lot of great folks up here in the booth, and we love bringing you these games from Darling. I got to tell you, I came by early today, Wu Bei, and the staff at Darling was out here getting things ready at 9:30 as I was coming up trying to save our seats.
Got to get the VIP treatment, Frank.
And they always give us that treatment. We're glad to be here. But we've got Ron Baton here with us, a track coach from around the Hampton City schools.
Hampton High. He's coached some great ones, as he always takes the humble route. But
Nathaniel Braxton sitting down now with us, and of course the clock keeper Herman Drones become a good friend over the past couple of years.
And Frank, also we encourage people to make suggestions as well on what they think should be improved here for their experiences. Smith is going to go back to pass, and it's going to be a flag. It might be a hold. He was going deep.
Well, he was, and he pulls it back. I think it is a hold in there.
He was looking for his receiver, number 7. That's Josiah Hayes.
Yeah, Hayes had to get out of the muck, and it took him on. It is a hold thrown right to the 38-yard line, so it'll come back a great distance. That time, Josiah Hayes took time. It was almost like the Fred Flintstone wheel and trying to get started there. He tried to get those feet going through the mud, and by the time he was open.
He stuck in the mud at that point.
Yeah, there was no way that the quarterback, Smith, could wait that long. He really did well to duck that first tackle.
He did.
So second and
we'll say 22.
22, yeah. No, we'll mention Jim Schaffner again, always. Jim, the voice of Darling Stadium in the last few years, and has done a great job. Phantoms trying to play here at home next week, are they not, Wu Bei? Would that game be here if they can win this game?
Semifinal game. They're number 1 seed all the way into the state semis. They'll play here.
So here it is.
Culpeper of Spotsylvania. And that's going to be busted up by Phoebus. They could have the ball. Do they have the ball?
Well, the handoff seemed to be available for anyone to take it. And the call, it doesn't seem to be anybody paying attention to the officials' crew. No, it's just going to be Norcom ball.
I thought maybe that's not a good sign.
At the bottom, that's Dunlap, isn't it?
Oh, man, I hope he's okay.
Well, Dunlap barely had any time to breathe before he touched the ball, and he and the quarterback were hitting. It was Dunlap that got the brunt of it.
I hope he's okay. He's been a great player for them all year, and a great game today.
He's hurting. They run out. The trainers come out. He got caught up there, and it may have been catch his arm behind him or get his leg twisted as he barely had time to grab hold of the ball. I think he did a good job just to grab the ball as the defenders about beat the running back to the ball. So they're going to take a timeout here as Dunlap's down at the 20-yard line. We hope the young man's okay. He looks like he's in a little bit of pain. I just couldn't tell what hurt him. He's going to roll over, which is a good sign that he's no back injury of any kind, neck injury. But
so we got
Dunlap that's 9 carries now, I guess, 62 yards.
And Turner, look at Turner, Frank, 22 carries for 115.
Well, in Dunlap's carries, that includes the big run.
Yes.
So you can see how much the Phantoms have bottled him up most of this game, and that time really just kind of got caught trying to take the handoff at the same time that the Phoebus defense was going to tackle both him and the quarterback.
And, of course, Norcom's great linebacker, Jones, he has 12 tackles, 12 solo tackles on the day.
Yeah, he's been the force, Taurus Jones, behind the Greyhound defense. So the big players for Norcom at least, are playing as advertised.
Yes.
For the Phantoms, Barry Hargraves touched the ball, once?
Yeah, one time on the end around. And, we haven't had a chance to see Kassan Dixon yet for Norcom because
they can't get the ball out there. Yeah, he's number 2, and he's a wide receiver. And very much like Hargraves, he is set up so wide that you couldn't throw the ball through the rain that far.
And, again, then you have to start finding ways to get your playmakers the ball, as we see Dunlap's still down. I don't want to speculate, but it could be, maybe getting the wind knocked out of him. He's moving around, which is a great sign.
Well, somebody down the way just said he thought he got kind of sandwiched.
Yeah, he's up. He's sitting up now, which is great.
The rain has moved further north. Those games up in Northern Virginia today, we were watching the Westlake-Madison game. Westlake won, 35 games in a row?
36.
36 games in a row. They were leading by just a little bit in a rainy Northern Virginia area.
And that streak has some significance in this area. If they go to the state semis, they can break Phoebus's record of winning.
Goodness.
Remember, Phoebus had that streak of, 38 straight games?
Yeah, well, Dunlap looks like he's done for the day, if I had to guess.
Oh, man,
he's walking off very slowly, so
a tough loss.
He may have gotten pinched between his own player and the defenders.
And, anytime you have a lineman at 6'5", 300.
Look at it. That snow line is right on I-95 between Richmond and Washington. So anything west of I-95 is getting a mix, at least, a wintry mix.
I'm glad I came back down when I had the chance to.
You're not kidding. And then warm.
Up to
our friend Steve Latimer is going to drive up through that today. Yep. Just follow the line between the purple and the green.
He's from he lives in Rochester.
They can drive through all sorts of snow. So Steve Fryer, who's glad it's not snowing, is standing out there in the drizzle now, bringing us this.
See, who do they have in for Dunlap? And Dunlap is just
Dunlap
is off the field.
I'm surprised they haven't picked him up and carry him off, because he is moving mighty slow. And they really need to pay more attention. They got a couple out there with him, but I feel
bad for him, because he's had a great game and great season. Would you say 1,300 yards this year?
Yep, 11 touchdowns. He took his helmet off. That's not a good sign. So he's going to be helped off the field. 40 seconds to go here, third quarter, a very quick moving game, as both teams keeping the ball and keeping the clock running. So here we go. Third down and about 22 for the Greyhounds.
They're going to go to the guy who just came in for Dunlap.
Yeah.
And he's still on his feet. He's moving around pretty well, trying to get away.
The line play is just ferocious out there. That time, the number 73, who's not on the roster for Norcom, and may have, again, a substitute jersey or something, but he and, of course, Devon Jefferson both engaged with the defensive lineman. Picked up about 2 yards.
And, Frank, Norcom doesn't really have the depth in key positions to lose a guy like Dunlap. So, you want to see who they have to come in for him.
Well, that does it for the quarter. So they'll be kicking towards the west as we go to the fourth quarter here at Darling Stadium. Still no score. Phantoms raise the four fingers, as they've done their whole history. They raise four fingers to indicate going in the fourth quarter. This is what they play for. Fourth quarter late in November and early in December.
It kind of shows a little signal of, if we're still here, we're going to still pound. Our legs are still under us, and we're going to still play Phoebus football.
They just put one of the top running backs out for the Norcom Greyhounds, and the Greyhounds now had to do the trickiest of plays here in this afternoon, and that's just catch the snap on a punt.
When you play this game as long as Coach Blunt, he's played, he's coached, you're going to have games like this. You're going to have conditions like this. You have to just be able to adapt and play in all conditions, especially football, because you start when it's 100 degrees outside, and by the time the season's over, it could be snowing. So,
well, the thing we've heard from Coach Blunt this week was how much faith he has in his front seven, and they have really held up today. The two long runs by Norcom have been around the end.
Yes.
Towards the end, and one Dunlap had a nice run off tackle. Now the punter, Greenidge.
And again, no return man for Phoebus, Frank. Oh, actually, they bring Smith. He goes back there now.
Latrell Smith hadn't touched the ball yet. He's going to catch this one.
Notice no pressure, Frank, this time. Oh, it takes a good Norcom bounce.
And it rolls out of bounds at about the 33-yard line of the Phantoms, and they get it 1st and 10 there for their second attempt. It's their second set of downs, isn't it, in the second half, and we're in the fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter.
So this is where the Phantoms really need to put it on right here. Chris Daniels talking closely with his coach.
They cannot run up the middle.
So here is the Phantoms' big opportunity. 11:51 to go in the ball game. No score here from Darling Stadium. Frank Edgar with Wube Gabray and Steve Fryer, along with our friend Steve Latimer here this afternoon, watching a little football in the rain. Of course, we're not wet, thank goodness.
We're nice and dry. And that's why
temperature
that's why
has dropped.
It has
Ever
dropped.
since we started this game.
It has dropped. It looks like the rain, like you said, the rain has stopped. Field's a mess, but got to keep playing. No lightning, so they still play.
Let's go get this fourth quarter in with no rain, just a wet field. Phantoms in that close gathering.
Back to Turner trying to get through that line.
Almost to the 35, yeah. That's Jones, of course, right in the middle of it for the Greyhounds as he makes the tackle. Ball up to the 35. 2-yard pickup for Turner. At some point, Daniel's going to surprise him.
It's going to have to.
Drop back, fake it to Turner, and drop back and throw it to Barry Hargraves.
It's going to have
or
to.
Latrell Smith.
Yes.
You know, Hargraves often gets the press, but Smith, second team all-district wide receiver.
And again, Hargraves has only touched the ball once this game.
And he's to the right, Smith to the left. 2 fullbacks in.
Going to go back to Turner.
Turner up. In comes a safety, number 5. Thomas White tries to keep that run to the 3 or 4 yards. It was, and it is. It's going to be about 3rd and 5 for the Phantoms.
You got to think, obviously, not 4-down territory, but this is a key 3rd down here. Norcom's offense hasn't been able to get much, but one big play, Frank, you could just put this game out of reach.
Jabari Batten comes in, big
again,
lineman.
They're doing like what you said earlier, doing a lot of multiple switches on that line. It's like 52 just comes out for Phoebus. Hurd.
3 receivers right for the Phantoms.
They're like Norcom showing blitz. Daniels back to pass. He's pressured by Ryland. He's gonna go up the middle and he's gonna get sacked.
Yeah, no room that time. Dante Brown brings him down, number 10 for the Greyhounds.
And Antoine Powell-Ryland with the pressure.
Well, the Phantoms going to have to punt the ball and try to win the game of field position here with 9:54 to go and counting.
I'm not sure what Daniel saw. Obviously, I'm up here. He's down there, but he had a couple guys open. Maybe he just didn't want to take the risk and throw it downfield.
The Norcom front line's done a good job of disrupting any sort of passing attempt. So Devontae White back, and again, a dangerous point even though it's not raining. Good snap.
Good snap. Off the side of his foot.
Going to roll a little bit of it, hit the water and drops right over the 40 down to about 39.5-yard line.
So the Phoebus defense, they're going to have to come to play because, again, 9:20 left in the ball game, and Norcom is known for their explosive offense, even though with the conditions the way they are.
Well, without Deadman, we'll see what they can produce.
Yeah, I'm trying to see who they have in for him. And they might just have him at 25.
That's what I was thinking. 25, Carnell McElroy.
Yeah.
He's in the game. He is back there behind Jacoby Smith.
5'7", 140, so a big difference from Dunlap, who's 5'8", 160. Not much of a difference in height, in size, but
speed is a big one.
But McElroy gets it. He has speed as well. He's going to go on the outside. He gets on the outside, but goes out of bounds at around the 45.
Well, good run by McElroy. Gets a little room out there.
Showing
Picks up about 6 yards.
Yeah.
At least I'm safe inside. You come and watch.
And they gave him 5, it looks like. Again, the prediction of first to score. In this case, I think the only to score.
Yeah.
Absent some sort of an offensive eruption by either team. Clock still running. Well, actually,
went
out of bounds.
Yeah.
One of the few times it stopped. 9:13 to go.
Like Smith looking at the sideline for the play. 2nd and 5 from the 44. Puts in his mouthpiece. Gets the snap. Smith back to pass. He gets some pressure, and they got him in the backfield. Looks like that's maybe a yard. No, actually,
Silver at the bottom.
5-yard loss. Yeah. Who's that?
No,
Silver?
it's Edwards.
That's Gilliam, isn't it?
Gilliam, 51.
Yep.
Austin Gilliam filling in admirably for Donovan Cooper, the all-district tackle who's out the rest of the year.
If you look at it, Frank, Hardy, Silver, and Gilliam was junior, sophomore on that line. And then Harrell, another sophomore, 6'2", 210.
And I think all of them are all district some level.
And Kimani Robinson, another junior who plays a line every now and then.
All right, 3rd and 9. 2 receivers left, 2 right. Phoebus matching up man-to-man on the receivers with the safety back, Hargraves.
Well, here comes Silver on that edge. He's coming.
And he gets trapped up.
Smith gets
no
away.
room.
But
Smith has no place to go except into the mud puddle head first. Brought down.
punt.
Is that Dominic Edwards that made the tackle?
Looks like it.
Uniforms that are just impossible to read now, and any mud on the back. So 4th down, the Norcom Greyhounds are going to have to punt. Out comes Rashawn Greenidge,
Let's see if
who I got to give credit to Greenidge and to Devontae White, the punters. They've done a great job this afternoon.
Done a great job
in miserable conditions. Both the long snappers have done a good job as well.
Again, no, it looks like Smith is going to go back to return it, or at least attempt to return it.
Well, he's had good balls off his feet, so let's see. A little low.
This might be
punt.
returnable.
Smith is going to catch it. He does right there about the 12. Good block there.
Oh.
Almost to it, about the 29-yard line.
I think if he would have broke that one wave, he would have still been running.
Smith at least gets a touch on the ball. And now the Phantoms with 7:17 to go. The clock is just rolling here in the 4th quarter.
Well, Frank, we wanted a close game.
That's about as close as you get right now. No score at Darling Stadium on a Saturday afternoon, a miserable Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
Weather-wise, but good football game. 1st and 10 from the 28, looks like.
Let's see if Phoebus tries. They tried to pass on the last 3rd down they had, but Daniels was pressured. Let's see if they try to go in the air again here with, again, Hargrave single coverage, no safety.
Well, notice he's actually creeped in a little bit. Maybe he can cut across the middle. Linebackers are watching him. And I would think he would try to get behind him right in the middle of the field.
Hargrave goes in motion. They fake it to Hargrave and give it to Jalen White, who gets maybe 3 on the carry.
Yeah, up over the 30. Yeah, not bad. Taking tackle out there by number 30, Cameron Stevenson. And at the bottom out there, it looked to be number 6, Linwood White.
He's been in a few tackles today.
So they gave him 4 yards. Good spot for the Phantoms.
This should be the great opportunity for them to get in the end zone here. Just ball control, Phoebus football. Let's look at who's that in the running back.
2nd and 6, got to be White.
You're right, Frank. It is White. White with a little stutter step.
He's up over the 35. He paid for it, though. Good tackling out there. Number 22 with a Nakis Cross, 6 foot, 185-pound defensive back, sophomore.
Play it down.
And White looks like, is that White down?
No, that's.
Or the big lineman?
No, that's not good.
And if we can see the numbers on these jerseys, which should be banned from any high school competition.
52.
That's 52. That's Hurd, Frank. You just talked about him. He's a freshman, 5'9".
Yeah, rotating in and out with the linemen. Checking that right leg, it looks like.
Could have been that planted in the mud and just couldn't get out of there, but we'll see.
Well, we've seen that we actually saw one of the Greyhounds get his foot stuck in the mud and actually pulled him down.
Yeah.
Between plays. The Phoebus staff goes out. They're going to have another.
Looking at his knee.
One of the trainers from Norcom going to come over.
Yeah, that's Hurd, the 52.
73 yards away.
Yeah, he's got Steve Latimer bringing out his binoculars, his distance finder. Just told us he didn't think Hurd had much of a lie out there, but he's up.
He's up, yeah.
Which is a good sign. He's going to walk off on his own power.
Oh, that's good. He's walking it off, Frank. So, Frank, 3rd and 2 now
And a big first down attempt here. And at some point, Jeremy Blunt is going to have to be aggressive.
It's going to have to be.
It's kind of a long two. The running back is White, Jalen White. You know, Turner dinged up a little bit in the first half, and we haven't seen much of him.
Yeah, I noticed he was. We mentioned he was stretching out a little bit on the bench here.
You don't see him down there. He is. He's right behind the head coach.
Yeah. But they've gone to White in this second half. Actually, early in the first half, they brought him in. So 3rd and 2 from the 36. Huge play here.
It's going to be White.
And White is going to be short of a first down. Oh, he's still on his feet. And he's going to, that little extra. I thought he was down. I couldn't see. He looks like he got an extra push. But he's going to be short. Another player down for Norcom.
Yeah, that's Karan Prunty, the quarterback on the tackle. It's 4th down, and this is when I guess they're not going to risk it here.
Who was that limping off? That's Dixon limping off.
Yep, Dallin Dixon coming off.
I would go for it, but that's why I'm up here, Frank.
Well, that's it with 5:26 to go. Overtime rules very similar to college.
Right.
But every punt, every special team play important here. You got to have a good snap, good punt, and then a good reception on the other end. This is Kassan Dixon back for the Greyhounds.
Dangerous for Turner. They're coming for it, Frank. They're coming for it. Low snap.
Plenty of time to kick. Good kick. Up in the air to Dixon.
Return, but for Dixon.
Dixon to the 30.
Uh-oh. This is what you got to watch out for. Oh, good block. Oh, good tackle by Phoebus. I thought he was going to get to the outside.
Oh, and a flag. And I think that's the Phantoms that drew that flag.
Oh, man. Late hit.
It's another dumb play by the Phantoms. That's on them.
Yeah.
And that was behind where the tackle was being made.
And, and you just worry about Dixon going to the outside. He got out there.
First and...
It's going to be a late hit.
Dead ball foul. Personal foul gets the Phantom. So they're shooting themselves in the foot here in a very important drive. 4:46 to go in the fourth quarter.
Be right at midfield after the penalty.
Ball comes up to the 50.
Well, the good thing with the overtime, if they do make it, it's 20. It's the 20.
They get
25.
closer. Yeah.
Well, it won't
down
be
to the green end of the field. Yeah.
Exactly.
So 1st and 10 for the Norcom Greyhounds from midfield. Phantom fans come to life. Rain starts to come down again. Norcom with the running back. That's Carnell McElroy back in the spot formerly held by DeMonte Dunlap.
Dunlap still on the bench.
McElroy.
They're going to get good tackle by, is that Gilliam again?
Coming out of there. Was that Tylen Baldwin that snuck in? No, it wasn't Baldwin.
Corey Wilson.
Corey Wilson that grabbed in.
We apologize. The numbers are a little, they changed jerseys at halftime.
You can't see them.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact is you can't see them. You may be able to see them on the TV screen better than we can see them with our own eyes.
So he lost one on that one, Frank. So it's going to be 2nd 11 from the 48. Phoebus showing blitz.
Good tackle by Wilson. Smith to McElroy.
Back to McElroy. And look at that defense there, Frank, all over it.
McElroy can't get any acceleration going. That time, was that Edwards?
It looks like Edwards or Noose. Yeah, Edwards was in there, 28.
So 3rd and about 13 as the Greyhounds go backwards. Well, now we're just calling the numbers by body size, body shape.
Kind of get familiar with how.
Yep, you see them enough. We've seen Phoebus several times this year.
So 3rd and 13 now is Norcom going backwards as the rain starts to pick up.
Yep, 3 receivers right, 1 left. Hargrave's going to step up. Baldwin back at safety.
Smith back to pass. Phoebus coming in with the blitz, and they're going to get
ball down.
The ball's out.
and the Phantom's going to pick it up and try to run it, but it's brought down to the 40. So the Phantoms with a break there. The ball came out of the quarterback's hand. Jacoby Smith fumbles, caused by the rush.
Huge play.
Couldn't see the rusher.
It was on the other side. Silver was on this side, 55, so it might have been Gilliam or Edwards.
So the ball 1st and 10 for the Phantoms on the 40 with 3:09 to go, which, be honest, given this weather, may not be enough time.
Well, it's probably the best field position they've had in
a long time.
In about 2-3 quarters. And you know, you just, if somebody else would have picked it up, maybe a DB might have taken it all the way to the house, but falling on it by Phoebus, and they get it to 40. Right around the mud flap area.
Yep, right in the area where they've been playing the games, between the 35-yard lines. Trying to get to the green grass down there near the goal line.
Turner's back in, Frank, in the backfield.
And that's White in front of him.
Yes, you're right. Interesting.
Two all-district backs in the backfield for Phoebus.
Phoebus has to call timeout. Actually,
Daniel's not ready.
Did they give it to Norcom or Phoebus?
Daniel's not ready. Watching the. They're watching the. He was watching the back judge to get the time.
Well, that's again.
Well, he was watching it, and he called timeout to save the 5-yard penalty.
The scoreboard being out.
No scoreboard clock to see that if anything.
No, Norcom called the timeout.
Did Norcom call it?
And Norcom called the timeout.
Well, they had not seen the two running back, the two tailbacks in at the same time.
Had to change it a little different wrinkle as, Blunt probably changed it up a little bit over eating some turkey over Thanksgiving. Changed up the game plan.
Wallace down getting ready for the Phantoms.
Hey, if you look at that end of the field, Frank, if he can get somewhere in the 20, it's still a little muddy around there.
In the green area.
Yeah.
Get down there, and the rain seems to be coming in from the west. Maybe the water will carry it. All right, the Phantoms come out. Turner deep in the back, and it is not. It's Trayvon Hayes in the fullback spot.
We thought it was White.
Yeah,
but
Trayvon Hayes.
Well, maybe even Norcom probably didn't recognize Hayes.
And Kamani Robinson, the fullback on the right side. And Robinson can catch a pass.
Yeah. Interesting. And then they have Tucker as well, the tight end. So this could be a pass play. We've seen Phoebus enough to know when you have Tucker in, he's more of a catching tight end than a blocking tight end. Former quarterback, transferred from Kickoff. Actually played a couple games while Daniels was out. Did a pretty good job at quarterback.
Here they go.
So 1st and 10, Frank, from the 40 after the turnover. Huge turnover by Phoebus. They're going to go with the run. Turner. Oh, he fumbles the ball, and then Norcom picks it up. Oh, man. And Dixon picks it up, and he gets it at the 45. Jeez.
So Turner just gets it knocked out of his hands, and so ball turned over immediately. So 2 fumbles in a row, and Norcom, out of all that, picks up a first down, essentially.
Oh, what a game.
Well, the Phantoms have made huge mistakes today.
Yeah, they have.
But they have survived them, and the defense has got to hold them right here. 2:56 to go here in the 4th quarter. No score in this ball game. Both teams seem to be waiting just to get to overtime.
Yeah, it seems like it. But, again, you have to worry. One play, and it's with only 2 minutes left.
Yeah, the sophomore has the ball pop out. He's had a heck of a game, over 120 yards. But that time had picked up a few yards.
Maybe trying to do too much. Maybe sometimes running backs will do that. Well, they're trying to get the extra yard, and that's when they cost themselves and their teammates. The turnover is they get the ball basically right where they had it before.
Well, here we go. We got the Dunlop-less Greyhounds with McElroy out there at tailback. Phantoms man-to-man on the receivers. McElroy. There's no room in the end for McElroy.
I don't know if him going inside hasn't been working. As he's
a lot smaller than the lineman. He's going to have to count on his speed, and with the wet footing out there, there's no way he can accelerate fast enough. But the Phantoms have got to keep it out. They've given up 2 big runs today to the smaller backs.
I agree, Frank. I think both teams are ready for overtime. They're going to play for overtime. Not much urgency with Norcom here on the offensive side.
No truth to the rumor the overtime will be played in another field.
I was heard they might go to Gosnell Hope Park and play the next overtime.
We got green grass out there and a little better drainage at this point.
So 2nd and 11 at the 46. Smith is back to pass. He has time. He has an open receiver. Good defense. Is that Baldwin?
If it was, no. It was Baldwin. He's very lucky as he had the hand dragging behind him.
Pretty good throw by Smith. That was probably the best throw of the night.
So an incomplete leads to a 3rd and 11 for the Greyhounds here, and it stops the clock.
Oh, yeah. Good
One
point.
timeout left for the Greyhounds, 3 for the Phantoms, and they're going to need them. If they can stop them here, they'll take a timeout.
As we have some, there is a penalty. What was the call? What was the call, bro?
It looks like it's going back against Norcom, isn't it?
Oh, ineligible player downfield, Frank. So that's going to push Norcom back a little bit more.
But does it give them another down?
Looks like it's going to be 2nd down, though.
Well, that's what I was saying. Does that you get another down for that? And if you do, why don't you decline it? But
I would decline it. Yeah, it would. So what's
it looks
40.
It will be 2nd and about 16, 17 yards. Phantoms now just expecting straight pass.
I mean, you got to
spread out the defense. McElroy still in the backfield with Smith.
So it's going to be 2nd and 16, Frank. You're right. It's going to stay 2nd down.
Ball's on the ground.
And here's Silver. As Smith has got away from a would-be sack. And he gets some positive yards out of it, actually. No, don't throw the flag
and
there.
Another hold by number 70, not called. And he gets away with it and allows his quarterback to slip up to almost midfield. Ball's actually going to be back at the original line of scrimmage on 1st down, so it's 3rd and 10 now for the Greyhounds.
Devon Jefferson is the player you're referring to, 6'1", 245 senior.
Yeah, it looks like he lost a yard on the spot. 3rd and 11.
It's going to be 3rd and 11. Again, look for a pass. They were going for a pass on that play as well. And they're looking for Dixon, their playmaker on the outside.
Silver's giving the lineman fits, and that time Brackley dragged him down by the arm, but he got around.
First team all-district.
Rain's picked up again.
Little wind as well coming in.
From the east, though, which doesn't bode well for Wallace. He's going to try to kick into it.
So this is 1 minute left. 3rd and 11 from the 46. There's Gilliam. Look at Silver again. Silver all over it, and he's had a huge night tonight, Frank.
He has been the player of the game for the Phantoms tonight. He's having no problem getting in the backfield. He's practically beating the snap. So it's going to be 4th and about 22 for the Greyhound. They have to punt, and Greenwich comes out again.
They're going to
timeout called by the Phantoms.
Phoebus.
Yeah. 48 seconds on the clock.
I guess they want to get one last crack at it.
Well, this is the chances. Are they going to take a risk and go to Hargraves and see if they can let it fly? Look at the wind pickup down there.
The rain's also picked up, Frank.
Yep. Which
have you ever witnessed a 0-0? I don't think we've.
No, I don't think we've seen
0-0
one. No.
Going in overtime. I mean, we've done overtime games, obviously, but
back in the day when Hampton would play Lafayette.
Yes.
Back in the 70s and 80s. Ron Springs there in the early 70s, the great player from Ohio State and Dallas Cowboys. But back then you would get a 6-0 result, often the Crabbers. But that's about as close as I've seen to a 0-0. They're going to talk about the clock.
I'm trying to figure out.
Herman Drone's going to put, looks like 10 seconds back on the clock. So the discussion is being relayed up 52 seconds. Put 4 seconds back on the clock. So 52 seconds now. And the punt, this is a big play.
Huge.
By the kicker and the long snapper for Norcom. Greenwich he's very deep.
No return.
Meaning that, and the wind is blowing from his back. You can see the rain. Hopefully the camera of Steve Fryer, fortunately, in the lee of that heavy rain. There's a good snap. They're going to go for the return.
No.
And it's a long punt.
Good kick. Oh, my gosh. Good kick. What a punt.
And I'm not sure why the Phantom didn't have somebody back to catch that, to try to move it up, and that's a mistake. But 40 seconds now.
I would think they would just clock this, Frank.
I think so, too. I'm puzzled why Latrell Smith wasn't back to at least keep that ball maybe at the 25. But a great punt by Greenidge, who if they win this game, he's the player of the game for
he's had some great punts.
The Greyhounds.
Now, what side of the field will they do the overtime is what I wonder.
Well, the kickers are praying that it's the west end.
This side of the field looks like it's in better shape. I'm sorry, the east end side.
East end is better shape, but has the breeze coming through the goalpost.
And maybe they will stay on the west side. As I don't think there's much discussion here, Frank. I think they would just clock it. Well, it's actually 33 seconds left. Norcom actually has one timeout.
Well, you got to wonder. And I don't know how much of a gambler Jeremy Blunt is, but he's got Barry Hargraves over here. And maybe you throw one, but
yeah, but after that fumble,
risk.
Yeah, you just don't want to take any risk.
Well, you throw it out as far as you can throw it and hope Barry can run underneath it, which he's shown us he can do.
And they're
going to take a knee.
Take a knee.
Or play bridge. We can't tell. They're going to take a knee.
It's going to overtime.
So this will go to overtime now. They'll have the clock run down. They may have to snap it one more time.
If Norcom won't call timeout, obviously.
So our friend is trying to get to Rochester. Is going to be here for a few more minutes. He can't leave now. It's a 0-0 game.
I got to get another shot at that.
So this is overtime here, folks.
All right, so we're going to flip a coin and hopefully catch that in this rain. And they're staying down in that end of the field. Now, I believe, do you get to pick your end of the field?
In overtime, I would think you would.
So if you got the better kicker, do you pick the east end?
Hopefully Phoebus will take that into consideration.
A lot of strategy here.
They're also maybe look at how the field conditions are on each side, but I would think they would do that.
We'll be on, and we'll be ask Steve Latimer what he thinks of what he's seen in the second half.
So what have you seen in the second half, Steve?
Big stalemate with the offensive lines. Nothing can really get done. We saw a couple of holes and a couple big plays. I predicted there was going to be 5 or 6 turnovers in this game. We've only seen 2.
I think we had 2. Yeah, I was surprised by not as many turnovers. Now, what's your strategy for overtime? I mean, me and Frank were talking about, this side of the field, the east side of the field is actually in better shape, but as a kicker and as a golfer, you know how winds go. So what do you do here?
I really don't think any kicker is going to, be anywhere close to making a field goal. It's got to be more of like an extra point,
right?
If they're going to score. The fortunate thing is the overtime is going to take place in the better parts of the field.
Right.
So there might be some better execution. We did see a little bit of variety from the offense. Like I said, I think staying out the middle, you got to go to the edge.
That's right.
Off tackle. That jet sweep we saw earlier was the best offensive play we saw from Phoebus. So this is how it should be. It's two good teams playing hard, and
the winner goes to the state semis, right?
It's going to certainly be hard for the team who doesn't win this game to, you can certainly pick out a couple plays where, very close game.
Yeah, we were talking earlier. Both of these teams are playing their guts out, and you would hate to only have one winner, but that's how the playoffs go. It's winner go home, and again, Phoebus with so many championships. Me and Frank talked about before how Norcom won a championship back in the 90s. There's a history for both teams here, and hopefully this field will be in better shape if Phoebus is able to move on. I mean, the field's been chopped up. Weather. How much is as a coach do you take that into consideration?
Oh, you got to take it into consideration. Like I said, the field is even this playing field out, or the game out for sure.
Right.
And like I said, I really hope that the game is not decided by a mistake. We want to see a positive play.
Yeah, exactly.
Something does something. Exactly. To win the game versus somebody. Like I said, we haven't seen 2 turnovers, so hopefully we can. Put some points on the one scoreboard we see.
Being in Rochester, I know weather is a factor. Have you seen a 0-0 game go to overtime at all up in the Rochester area?
I don't think I've seen too many 0-0s in any sport.
Right.
I guess there was a classic Army-Navy game way back when. And, of course, the Harvard-Yale game when Harvard won 29-29, so I'm not sure how that works out. But,
and that's Harvard-Yale. They couldn't figure it out, huh?
Absolutely.
Ivy League schools.
So we got about 25 seconds. They're going with the coin flip now for the thing. And I'm pretty sure they start with 20 at the 25-yard line.
And to see, I just saw a Norcom player choose the east end of the goal, so they're gonna take that side of the field.
So it's the better end of the field, but they're going into the wind.
Yeah.
We did see 5 pass attempts from
Norcom. Yeah. And that's what their specialty is. They have a dynamic player in Dixon. Their quarterback has been steady all year. Unfortunately for them, though, they lost their best running back, who we're still trying to figure out the significance of his. I mean, the type of injury he had, but we'll see what happens now. Phoebus is going to be on defense first.
Although there hasn't been any score, it's been a fantastic ball game, and certainly the effort has been there for both teams.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm going to sit down and
enjoy this last
watch the overtime.
There you go.
Thank you, Steve Latimer, for jumping in with us here. We've watched a heck of a ball game this afternoon.
See, I was getting ready to get into those old UVA dorm stories.
That's right. No, we got to take him off the air to get to the UVA dorm stories.
We didn't have time to get into that, but he did break down some great points on what, interesting, Frank. We were asking about. I was asking Steve about what position of the field you want, and as you see, Norcom is taking the east side.
Well, the ball's at the 10, so.
Oh, it's a 10. I thought it was a 20.
Yeah, I did too. The ball's at the 10, and now this is, you would think, would be advantage Phoebus on the shorter field with the size of back. But that's still McElroy in the backfield.
Dixon that goes in motion. They give it to Dixon. Dixon almost fumbled it on the handoff, and he did fumble the ball. That ball's out, and they're going to say he was down. That ball was coming out, though, Frank.
It sure was. But it's called down back on the 15-yard line.
Doesn't look like Dixon really had it at all when he first got it. It looked like he bobbled it before he made his cut. Great play by Baldwin. So what did he lose, 5 yards, Frank, on that one?
Yeah, and that hurts when you lose a half of what you had. And so 2nd and 15.
Actually, the field looks great on this end.
Again, this is where you've got the bigger backs, Turner and Jalen White.
Yeah,
Phoebus should show an advantage, but they got to stop the Greyhounds. Field goal kicker is going to have a hard time kicking into the driving rain.
Probably have to go for 2. So that's a loss of 5. Smith, Dixon again. They're going to fake it to Dixon. Smith, nowhere to go again. That defensive line has been on point all game, Frank.
They just literally ran over the guard.
I think he's
down and hurt. There's a Norcom Greyhound down at the 20. Come to his feet. It's been a long afternoon for that young man. He's played well. It's 55. Keandre Hodges, 6'1", 255, sophomore. They got some big men up front.
They do.
But the Phoebus Phantom D7, just like Coach Blunt predicted, they're carrying the Phantoms right now.
And then again, if you look at the roster and just with your own eyes, you would think that the Norcom offensive line would be pushing the Phoebus defensive line around, but that's not the case.
No, and the Phoebus is actually pushed them back 10 yards now, 3rd and goal from the 20.
Going backwards for Norcom. So you have Dixon in the slot. You got to be very aware of him. And if you see number 4, the tight end, that's Powell Rowland. They're going to go back to pass. Pressure. They're going to go. It's going to be. Looks like it's tipped. And it's incomplete.
Yeah.
So will they go for a field goal here to put some points on the board?
Don't you have to go for the field goal here and try to put some points on the board? Here comes the Swede.
Because anything Phoebus does, if they don't get anything, would be a victory for them. This is why it's a nice advantage to play defense first.
This could be a close to a 40-yard level. It'd be about a 37-yard field goal into the driving rain.
And he's got some mud, and he's right near the mud, too. It's going to be tough.
The holder is number 13, Sylon Lawrence. And the kicker is Lindholm.
Low snap. Lindholm is going to. Oh, it's the crossbar. It's no good. Oh, man.
Hit the crossbar. So what, 4 inches short?
Oh, man.
3 inches short?
That was a line drive.
He hits it an inch higher. May have skipped over.
What do you call that button? We call that shot in golf. That was a knuckler.
My goodness.
It was really low.
Now, this is where the Phantoms have got to be. They haven't been allowed to get this close to the goal line the whole game. So this is where you got to see the all-district line and running backs just push the ball across the goal line.
When they say it's a game of inches, Frank, that's what they mean. I mean, literally inches away from a field goal there.
Jeremy Blunt.
Man. Just like Steve said, you would hate to lose on a mistake. I mean, that was actually just one of those things, though. Good kick, just a little low, and they're going to bring Turner in.
Turner, and they got the two fullbacks in. Kamani Robinson.
And Hayes, it looks like. Or is that? Yeah, it looks like
Hayes. And it's Turner.
And Turner. Oh, I thought he had
nothing. And Jones has got to be. Nope, it's not.
4.
It's number 4. It's Antoine Power Island. So Jones and Power Island, the heart of the defense.
It looked like Turner had some space there.
It did look like he had space, and Power Island steps up quickly and brings down Turner at the line of scrimmage, second in goal from the 10.
Man, what a game. What a game. Maybe do a little play action here. I mean, maybe just get him off. If you do not want to make any mistakes and give them the ball back.
These lines have been about as evenly matched all afternoon as we've seen. Jeremy Blunt's going to call timeout. And they're going to have a discussion here on what to do.
Again, Frank, winner goes to the state semis.
And for the Phantoms, the winner stays right here and plays another week. Was it Culpeper leading that game against Spotsylvania?
It was a 14-0 score the last time we checked.
The Phantom fans waiting for it. The Norcom fans all standing up over there in support of their squad. I really thought Turner had more room. That would be an interesting play to see.
I thought he did as well.
Power Island has been a monster on defense, and he stepped up very quickly, but I thought he had a little more space there. It's hard to get your wheels going in this mud.
Maybe, like I said, a play action. Let's see if they have any tight ends in. They don't bring any tight ends. They're going to go to 2 fullback again.
Silver, Ibri Harrell.
Looks like Hayes is in.
Hardy.
No Kimani Robinson this time. Just Hayes as the fullback. They bring Hargraves in. And they're changing something up as Hargraves goes out on the far side.
That's Hayes looking around.
And there's still a little confusion there. Now Tucker comes in late. I mean, they just called timeout. Now Tucker goes into that fullback role. Daniels under center. Goes to Turner. Turner goes
down to the 6. Tackled out there by Thomas White from his safety spot. He put the last hit on him. Looks like it's down to the 6.
Man, they might be playing conservative for Wallace, Frank.
Well, I mean, that'd be great. They're right there.
Yeah, that's his range and in a decent part of the field in terms of the conditions. So it's going to be 30 and they're going to 7 here, Frank. And they're going to go with Wallace for the win.
In case they have a bad snap.
Yeah, they're going to go with Wallace for the win here.
So on 3rd down, it's going to be a 25-yard attempt at a field goal to win the game. Anthony Wallace, all-district, All-Peninsula District.
Wow.
First team kicker is going to try to kick it out of the hold of
Latrell Smith.
Latrell Smith, who's got the towel. He's got the important thing.
Now, here's the thing, Frank. Wouldn't this be great for Wallace, considering what happened last year? They lost to Hopewell.
7-6, but they didn't use him, right?
He missed the extra point. Yeah. And Wallace looked Coach Blunt in the eyes over the summer and said, if you need me, I'm here. And wouldn't this be great for that young man to go out there and win this one for his team?
Anthony Wallace has worked hard with Coach Van Dyke.
Yeah.
Become the first team all-district kicker.
And again, Coach Van Dyke has had a great group of kids that he's coached over the years.
Not just at Phoebus, too, all over the peninsula, yeah. So, ball is on about the 7. Hold was being placed on the 15, so a 25-yard field goal attempt. It is right, almost dead center in the field. Out comes Wallace. He and Latrell Smith. No, that's Trayvon.
A little handshake there.
Hey, he's got a little handshake going.
So then Wallace is so loose. Look at him. He's ready.
Latrell Smith trying to keep his hands dry. He's got them stuck under his shirt. Wallace says he's ready.
The snap. It's down. Wallace for the kick. It's up, and it is. Oh, it hits the sidebar. Oh, my goodness. I thought it was good. It hit the crossbar. Oh, my goodness.
I can't believe it.
This is unbelievable,
I can't
guys.
believe it.
This is unbelievable. Oh, my goodness.
It took forever to get there. I thought it was going to drop in on a parachute right into that the driving rain, the wind.
Oh, my goodness. Everybody thought it was good.
So they're going to go out and flip again.
Do they have to flip again? Yeah, and then here's the thing. After the third overtime, Frank, they have to go for two.
Well,
nobody's even
come close to scoring.
Oh, my goodness.
So Wallace talking to Coach Van Dyke.
I love this. This is great. This is great.
Unbelievable. And both kickers hit the crossbar.
Good moment here, though, Frank. You see Hayes
and
it looks like,
and Coach Van Dyke was talking to Wallace.
He's upset. He's really
they're going to go the other end of the field now.
You got to get him. You got to calm him down. They're going to need him. They're going to need him.
The Phantoms get the ball first, I think, in this second overtime.
Let's get a touchdown here, and won't have to worry about it. Switch sides. Any difference, Frank, from either side? I guess not. I guess, like you said,
well,
the
this
wind
is easier for the kickers going this way with the wind blowing from the east.
And you know that kick by Wallace, it looked like the wind did take it.
It did hang up. Yeah. It wasn't strongly struck, but it hung up there a long time.
What a game! This is so fun.
Goalpost.
So much fun to broadcast a game like this.
And as our friend Steve Latimer drives back in that last 2 hours in New York tonight, he'll wonder why he stayed for this overtime, which may last longer than the game.
He probably will. The game was really fast.
First and 10 Phantoms. This is where the Phoebus Phantoms have just got to find some room for Jalen White and Andre Turner and just get the ball. Anthony Turner, excuse me.
It's Hargraves, maybe Hargraves. Get him the ball somehow.
Well, they may do it. It's Turner behind Chris Daniels, the sophomore who had the fumble earlier.
And they got three wide receivers near side, Frank. Looks like Smith, Hargraves, and Dixon.
It almost feels like they're a little looser going this way with the wind at the back.
Yeah. Daniels in the shotgun. They're going to go to Turner. Turner, he fumbles. And it looks like Norcom has recovered the ball. Oh, man. So all Norcom has to do is either kick a field goal or a touchdown wins it.
So Turner's second fumble in about 10 minutes.
Jeez.
So the Phantom defense called on again to save the game.
They're going to have, this is it.
Not a sure thing now.
Anything. So a field goal, if they go with Lindholm, or they just go for anything here, it just wins it.
So here they go. First and 10 or first and goal for the Greyhounds. They're just going to try to keep the ball close.
Yeah.
That time they're going to lose a couple yards.
Maybe try to go for the ball if you're Phoebus.
Now they're going to try to push them out of field goal range. What they're going to try to do, literally pick them up, run them down the other end of the field. They lose a yard on that. Second and 11. Lindholm sure is stretching his leg, ready to go over there.
Him over there working out. You know, a penalty would be great for Phoebus if they can get something, maybe a false start or anything.
Well, you figure Norcom may do the same thing and kick on third down.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So second down in overtime. Second overtime.
Oh, there's going to be a fake, and it's going to be Smith. He's going to have a chance to get in the end zone. He's going to be short. Good close by Hargraves, but it's going to be third down. And now do you go for the win? Good fake by Norcom.
So the question is, do you go where if you have a bad snap, you can recover it?
They might go for it here.
Well, is it where, the 4? Yeah, the 4-yard line.
4-yard line. I think they're not gonna bring him in yet.
Well, let's see if that pays off.
Oh man, this is
Anthony Turner with the 2 fumbles. Phantom defense trying to rescue their team from that.
I would say they just
first down fumble. It's going to square it up.
Yep.
Over the middle, down maybe a yard.
But again, it has to be a clean snap, clean hold, and a clean kick.
Right. There comes Lindholm.
Didn't take advantage of it when you had a chance.
But the Phantom defense done its job. Now they're going to have to try to have a special teams miracle here.
Maybe try to go for the block. Somebody can get in there.
Still 0-0 in the second overtime.
Right over the middle, though. This is going to be hard for him to miss this.
Right down the middle, yep. Out of the hold of number 13, Salon Lawrence.
And Blunt's on the field trying to call a timeout.
So timeout Phantoms.
Man, what a game.
So ball at about the 3-yard line, more of an extra point.
Yeah.
But you still got to kick it in the rain, the wind. Wind at the back of the kicker at this point. But raining pretty good. We've seen some bad snaps. We've seen some bad holds. Bringing out a different football. Do they have kicking footballs in high school? If they're bringing out a different football.
Yeah, he's
bringing in the ball on the wire.
To the autograph ball by. He's going to get an autograph. If he's
Phantoms.
People are going to be asking for his autograph if Lindholm can make this one.
Well, I wonder if the Phantoms picked up on that switch of football.
Oh man!
There we go. Second overtime. Lindholm, the exchange student for Norcom, on to try to kick the game winner here in a scoreless game.
His first overtime kick hit the crossbar.
Spot's about the 11-yard line, so it's a 21-yard field goal with the wind at his back. Snap. Hold, and he kicks it, and he missed it.
He missed it.
Wide right.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
So we go to the third overtime.
So now, Frank, obviously nobody scored yet anyway, but no extra points.
At this point, they're better off trying to run the ball in.
Do you give Wallace another opportunity is the question. Do you do what Norcom just did?
And do you give Turner the ball back if you're Phoebus?
Good question.
Or do you call on Jalen White, or if he's dinged up, do you go to another running back? Or do you put Barry Hargraves back there?
And again, that's why we're up here. Questions, you don't want you want to keep your running back in a positive attitude, and you want to still have confidence in him. So I say you go back to Turner, but Jalen White has been playing well too. So
this is one of these epic ball games that LSC 48 is bringing you.
It looked good from here, but we have a weird angle.
It is hard to see, but he booted it wide right.
Oh my goodness!
So
man. I think that first one, Frank, hitting the crossbar. I mean, oof.
They're going to put the ball back here at the 10 on the west end of the field.
Oh, back to the west side. Okay.
So they're going to stay the west end, and it looks like Norcom will have the ball first in the third overtime. Steve Latimer is still with us. Probably be cursing up a storm tonight as you get close to Rochester, New York.
Well, I have so much time invested in this game. I have to see the outcome of this thing. I told you at breakfast that I was probably going to leave at halftime, but the intensity and the closeness of the game is just too much not to watch. And unfortunately, I did predict the tough kicking game. Both kids, obviously, the Lindholm kid from Norcom, he did have the distance from 37 and obviously hit the crossbar, and then we get the one on the upright, and you could see, like I said, how the conditions have deteriorated, and just hitting an extra point's been very difficult.
Well, here they go from the 10-yard line, start of the third overtime. Handoff. Right at the middle, nothing, and a flag drop back on the 15-yard line. There's a flag on the play. Steve Latimer is going to yield to Wu Bei, and they're going to have a flag drop back on the 15. I think it may be a hold back there.
What you got, Jerome?
I don't know. I see it in the backfield.
So dead ball. False start. Okay, so a little late on the false start call, but a call nonetheless. So it's going to drop it back 5 yards, be first down again.
Oh, man, this is amazing. I went down to ask if anybody's ever seen anything like this, and, of course, Matt Hatfield said there was a few years ago, Bethel Phoebus had a game like this about 10 years ago, he said. So Darling Stadium was another epic game, Frank, at this historic stadium here.
Well, that 5-yard penalty could put them out of field goal range at this point. The ball's at the 15.
Where is field goal range at this point?
Field goal range is practically up at the 2. All right, Jacoby Smith at quarterback. He's going to pass it this time. He's going to look to pass it, and they lob it in the end zone, and the Phoebus Phantoms
he caught it!
And he caught it. And they tipped the ball, and it's caught by the Norcom receiver.
What a play. Phoebus gets the ball, though.
Well, they do. But they're going to have scored a touchdown.
Got to score a touchdown.
And you're right now. Does this come into play where they
got to go for 2? So.
And I'd like to see that one on replay because 3 or 4 Phantoms back there, and they knocked the ball away, and the receiver, obviously been participating in the tip drills.
That's right.
Is able to.
Who caught it?
Can't tell who
Jones?
Yeah. Well, now you're right. The third overtime. Can they kick?
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Well, I thought you. Hey, Drone. I thought you had to go for 2 in the third overtime. Right. Is it college or college or high school? Maybe it is college, Frank. I'm sorry.
All right. So Lindholm.
Oh wait. On sportsmanlike. For celebration. Come on. So how did you?
Yeah, I agree. That's silly. But they got to take it back now, right? Don't you have to penalize it now?
Oh, come on.
So you drop it back 15 yards?
That's not right.
They couldn't punt it through from 15 yards.
We haven't seen a touchdown all game, and they're excited over a touchdown. You call it penalty. This is way out of his range now. So now all Phoebus has to do is score and get an extra point. I say all of it, which it's been difficult to do that all game, but.
So the ball goes back to the
almost a 40-yarder.
17. The spot's going to be at the 25, so a 35-yard field or extra point attempt by Lindholm.
Wouldn't it be something if he nails this?
Out of the hold of Lawrence. Ball is snapped low, and it's blocked.
No way. Not even close.
And they pick it up. Hargrave's got it, but he can't advance it. So 6-0 Norcom.
They still need a touchdown, though.
And the Phantoms have first and goal from the 10. That's what it boils down to, Wube.
And score.
The Phantoms are going to have to run the ball in or surprise everybody and throw a pass.
It doesn't surprise me on how Norcom scored the way today's been going. I mean, it was a fluke.
Unbelievable.
Ball in the air, getting tipped, and
Who caught it? I couldn't see it.
and Jones. We talked about his tackles.
Well, who caught it? Did you get an answer?
Jones. Taris Jones.
Taris Jones, number 11. No wonder we couldn't see his number.
Yeah.
He's been muddy since first quarter. So Jones with the touchdown catch off the tip by at least 3 Phoebus defenders. Now
going back to Jalen
White. And you got to dance with the one that brung you, and White's been the all-district running back, first team.
They're going to have to throw it, Frank, at some point.
I'm not sure.
Here they go. They're going to throw. Goes to Hargraves, and he incomplete.
Yeah, that's one down. They're going to have to. Oh, second down now. Remember, you can't. They got to score.
Yep.
No first down. That pass was a forward pass, so the ball go back to the 10.
Ian taking deep, and then hit the back, come at the back.
So, different personnel coming in for Phoebus.
Daniels gets to play.
Taking a
Better
long
get in
time.
there quickly. All right, here come the Phantoms. The play clock running.
Yeah, they have to hurry.
White behind Robinson and Hayes, the fullbacks. And they got to show some urgency here. 5 seconds left, and they get the play off.
It's going to be another pass.
They got the lineman wide open, and he dropped it.
And that was Daniels. He was open in the end zone. Oh, man, that was a touchdown.
Right in his hands and dropped. Yeah, Tyrell Daniels, 5'11", 215.
Man, that was a touchdown.
The tight end had it fall right out of his hands. Third down now and goal for the Phantoms. Timeout called by Jeremy Blunt.
Oh, man, that was...
Run, now or never.
So it's a huge third down here, Frank. Jeez.
Phantoms.
Oh, man.
Now pressuring themselves.
Yeah, they're getting a little tight here.
You know, this overtime system just magnifies when you don't score.
Right.
So the kick is magnified.
Yep, that's true.
The missed pass, the fumble, everything is magnified here.
Oh, man, and just the way that Norcom scored. I mean, you had 3 guys around the ball, and the ball gets tipped, and Jones was there, right place at the right time to get it for Norcom.
So, third down. Phantoms being begged to get back on the field or they're going to get penalized. And they're going to start the clock.
They got them 6 points. Yeah, right now, it looks good.
So here come the Phantoms. Latrell Smith wide right. Barry Hargraves wide left. Third from the 10. Phantoms need a touchdown to tie it.
Daniels in the shotgun. Good snap. He rolls out to near side. He's got some pressure. He's going to throw it. It's going to be incomplete.
The hands of Hargraves.
Hargraves usually catches that, and he dropped it. Not the best throw, but he was open.
Well, Daniels has put 2 passes in the hands of his receivers, and neither one have caught it.
Oh, man, this is it here, Frank. 4th down.
They couldn't have hit him no closer than no better than that.
So Blunt's going to give Daniels a play.
And as the rain picks up for this last play.
They're going to have to get their heads up. Last play of the ball game for Phantoms. They've got it tied. And they got to get set.
Daniels again in the shotgun. He has 3 receivers, Dixon, Hargraves, and Smith. Daniels, this is it. Back to pass.
Got plenty of time.
He's got time. He's going to throw in the end zone again. This time Hargraves
catches it. Touchdown, Phantom. Barry Hargraves able to hang on to that one.
Okay, now the key, Frank. The extra point.
Yep. So no over-celebration.
Again, Frank, we talked about this.
No, this is Wallace's chance, but this is chance 2.
Yes.
So
and
this is the chance.
Let's not get a celebration penalty.
No celebration. No, Phantoms handled it very well. So out they go. And it is going to be Wallace out of the hole, Latrell Smith.
Again.
For the win.
Not to bring it up and beat up a dead horse. Wallace talked to Coach Blunt over the summer and said, I'm here if you need me. After last year's missed extra point in the, I guess, the second round of the playoffs last year.
Well, here, this is a big one.
Same spot where Norcom was.
Yep.
This is it, folks. This is for the game. Extra point wins it. Norcom is going to call. They're going to try to ice him and they're going to call timeout.
Larry Archie smartly calling it timeout. Good snap, good hold. Well, Jeremy Blunt's going to call his team over and say, let's get in here and talk about it.
And Frank, to go on your point, this is just to prove that you know a little bit about football. Giving Barry Hargraves the ball.
Yeah.
In this situation, they went to him twice. And the second time was the time that he caught it.
Well, like a great athlete does, the failure doesn't. See, he leaves it in the pass like a good pitcher in baseball. If he gives up the home run, you got to come back.
Right. Exactly.
Throw the next pitch, and that was another good throw.
Great.
Chris Daniels with 3 terrific passes.
That's right.
3 touchdown passes, one of which was caught for the TD.
Yeah, the one to Daniels the first time hit him right in the chest. He dropped it.
Yeah. Chris Daniels has played one whale of a game.
He has.
We like in New England. See the spot on.
And the rain is coming down now, the sheets of rain, but at the back of the kicker. Wallace, who brings his tee out of the puddle and puts it in a little drier spot. Smith with the towel. So Wallace,
You just feel so.
a chance to win the game.
I just want this young man to win it.
After a 4th down pass, ties the ball game.
Good
Ball
snap.
down. Up.
And it's going to be good.
Good. And the
Phoebus goes to the state semis.
Phoebus wins the game over the Norcom Greyhounds 7-6 in triple
what a
overtime. What a game. Norcom shouldn't drop their heads one bit. They played a whale of a ball game.
Not at all.
They go ahead in the third overtime on the reception on the tip play, but they couldn't get the extra point through due to the block after the penalty.
That's right.
So the unsportsmanlike penalty cost them what would have been the 7-point, and they lose it 7-6 to the Phantoms.
Wow, what a game, Frank. What a game.
Well, offensively, Chris Daniels could not have been better in this third overtime. He threw 3 touchdown passes, one of which was caught. And Barry Hargraves, probably what I think the best offensive player on the field,
Absolutely.
made the catch on 4th down.
Absolutely.
In the third overtime. So the Phantoms win it 7-6. They'll be back in action, next Saturday?
Next Saturday, they'll be home.
We're trying to keep track.
Yeah, they'll be home.
Against the winner of Culpeper and Spotsylvania County.
Culpeper will be coming down to Hampton next week. Culpeper County will be down here in Hampton.
Well, I want to thank Steve Fryer, who's done a great job bringing in this broadcast again. We want to thank our friend Steve Latimer for coming all the way from New York. Drove down this morning. I fed him breakfast, and he's got to drive all the way back tonight.
Last words.
Yeah, last word from Steve Latimer. Want to hear from him. Thank you, Steve.
I've had this line, the 3 yards and a cloud of dust. We haven't had too much dust today. It's been more like a splat in the mud bowl. But, we talked about the kickers, and the kicker was the one who actually won the game for him. And I'm not sure who blocked the extra point for Phoebus, but certainly we talked about people making plays at the end. We got a couple touchdowns finally, and that blacked extra point certainly turned out to be part of the difference in the game.
Well, outstanding. Great to have you here, my friend, as always.
Thank you so much.
A lot of fun. Our life
Absolutely.
continues to take interesting turns.
Yes. I got half a bucket list out. I got to see Frank Edgar again before I'm still here on this side of the earth.
Very good. Steve Latimer from Rochester, thanks for being with us. And we want to thank you all. On behalf of Wu Bay Gabray, this is Frank Edgar saying good afternoon from Darlin Stadium. The final score in triple overtime, the Phoebus Phantoms 7 and the Norcom Greyhounds 6. See you next week.